out Mexico and put America on it. So whoever's in the printing and map business, they're going to be doing great. Anyway, so I had one scotch. I was done. Luckily, there was a shuttle to take me home. Anyway, I never would have guessed wine sales are down in the United States. Who knew? Was that your fact of the day? We steal it?
It was not.
Okay, good.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, it's National Squirrel Appreciation Day today. Don't you miss these? As you know, squirrels' teeth never stop growing, so they must constantly chew to keep them filed down. That's why they're always chewing on, nuts and stuff.
I think, isn't it all rodent? Like beavers have to.
Bunnies do that too.
Bunnies, yeah. I think
I think it's a rodent thing.
all rodents
okay.
don't take, though, I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Their teeth just never
That
stop
might
growing.
be tomorrow's fact
of the day. All right. So what is it? National Squirrel
Appreciation Day. So appreciate all the squirrels. Don't hit
Man,
them.
I love chipmunks more than squirrels. The chipmunks in my back, they crack.
And I don't know about this fact. I was looking up something that just said chipmunks are small squirrels. I was like, I don't think that's right. I don't know where
It's a
I'm
different
hearing this.
genus.
Yeah.
But I want to know, so the squirrels in the backyard, they're always chasing each other. Is that playful chasing, or is that like a bloodlust? Like they're trying to eat
Like
each
two
other?
gangs or something?
Yeah. In my mind, I'm like, oh, they're just playing around. They're chasing her,
Yeah.
Anyway, Longoria have more on rodents tomorrow with his fact of the day.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star of the Show?
Stars of the show, Deborah. Great job. Gnocchi killed it. Longo brought me a chicken biscuit, so you know you're automatically getting a star of the show. Linda Gradstein joined us live in Jerusalem. She gets a star of the show. Portnoy from ABC, Rory O'Neill talking about the Trump executive orders, and Austin Eller covering that press conference, the breaking news. Phenomenal job, Mr. Eller. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to have Scott Slade. We'll update day 3 of the Trump presidency and the latest on the winter weather. Stay warm, drip them faucets, do what you got to do. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to give you the keyword in the 5K day bonus splits right after the new news. I will be active. The chilly temperatures on social media, and you can see my fantasy pictures posted on Instagram and Facebook at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay warm, stay safe. Have a great Tuesday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
There's been so much new apartment structure over the last 2 years that you'll notice how many signs there are offering free months rent, special move-in deals. So if you are living somewhere and you're 6 weeks out from your renewal, go shop what else is available, because then that gives you negotiating power. So if you're not really sure you want to stay there, this is a great time where you can get a better deal in a better apartment.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 12 o'clock, I'm Austin Eller. Our top local story is the winter weather. It's absolutely frigid in the metro, as it has been for a couple days now, but we've now also got snow moving in. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has had a close eye on the storm. And Christina, where are we really going to see that snowfall here in the metro?
It's going to take some time, and I know a lot of people are thinking, where is my snow? Right now, it's actually in the Pine Mountain LaGrange area, and it is slowly moving into the southern portion of Metro Atlanta. So what we need to know is that right now we have dry enough air. The snow is actually falling. It's evaporating before it makes it to the ground. But what I'm noticing is that the moisture levels are increasing over the Metro Atlanta area. So Austin, anticipate the snow showers between now and
the U.S. Senate Veterans Affairs Committee this hour for his confirmation hearing. Collins was originally scheduled to testify last week, but that was delayed as the FBI not yet completed his routine background check.
I've been asked about doing this job, why do I want to go into the VA? And it's sort of been interesting. I've had some say, congratulations. I've had some say, oh, what are you doing? It's a large undertaking. And I said, no, I'm taking this, number one, because I care for people and I care for veterans.
That's Collins speaking just a little while ago. He is President Trump's pick to lead the VA. He represented Northeast Georgia's 9th Congressional District for a decade. until 2021. That seat now held by Congressman Andrew Clyde. President Trump says he plans to impose tariffs as high as 25% on Mexico and Canada by the 1st of next month.
Mexican and Canadian officials say they will retaliate if tariffs are imposed. Both countries are important to the American energy and auto industries. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement on Trade is up for review next year.
Bloomberg's Gina Cervati reports President Trump claims the two countries are partially responsible for the flow of illegal migrants and drugs into the United States. It's 12:04. Time for live TV coverage of traffic and weather. Let's go to Chinway in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Checking for some debris on I-20 eastbound just before I-75-85, that downtown connector. You've got debris taking out a center lane, and then over on the east side, you've got debris taking out a left lane on the entrance ramp from I-20 eastbound to Wesley Chapel. So just be careful, stay in the opposite lanes to avoid those delays. I'm Chinway Maponya Cook, listen on 95.5 USB.
And now it's time for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official heating of winter. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Cloudy skies at the moment. Yes, the snow is not flying, with the exception of a few flurries here or there. That's because we still have a layer of dry air located about half a mile above our heads, and that is evaporating the snow. The flip side is that there does come a point at which the air gets saturated enough, allowing that snow to come to the ground. So I anticipate that to be the case between now and 6 p.m. with half an inch of snowfall south of I-20, a light dusting to perhaps a quarter of an inch of snowfall north of I-20. For tonight, temperatures are dropping into the mid-teens, so I am more concerned about the prolonged cold than any of the snowfall. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 36. Thursday and Friday, morning lows in the 20s, daytime highs in the low 40s. And on Saturday, mostly sunny, high 48. Our next chance of rain is not until next Monday. Live in the Storm Center, meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Right now it's 28 degrees in South Fulton, Marietta, and Midtown. More news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
All right, friends, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. The new keyword is joy. J-O-Y, joy. And the keyword joy into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword and win $1,000. The keyword is joy. J-O-Y. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you won $1,000. The keyword is joy. Good luck.
Hello, America. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Delighted to have you with me. The phone number, if you want to be on program, 877-973-7425. You can text the word data, D-A-T-A, to 33777 and get the show notes. Will be coming to your inbox momentarily, all the stuff that we're going to talk about today. I got to begin with the executive orders. In particular, you know the executive order I have to begin with. It's not actually an executive order. It is specifically a constitutional power of the President of the United States. Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the United States Constitution gives the Chief Executive Officer of the United States of America the pardon power, and Donald Trump used it yesterday.
We have a list of pardons and commutations related to events that occurred on January 6, 2021.
Okay, and how many people is this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people.
So this is January 6th, and these are the hostages, approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Okay. Nice to see you again.
There he goes.
This is a big one.
You're excited.
Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they come out tonight, frankly. We're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
6 commutations, pardons for 1,500 people. The press outraged. The Democrats outraged. Myself, I think some of the people getting pardoned shouldn't have been pardoned. I think two wrongs don't make a right. But you'll forgive me for there be no outrage in my voice. Yeah, I think some of the people were bad actors on January 6th. I think some were grandmothers and grandfathers and young people who wandered in, because back in the day you used to be able to wander into the Capitol. So they saw a commotion, they went in. I think others got swept up in the moment, carried away in the moment. They did bad things, and I think some were really malcontented souls who took advantage of the situation to go in and intended maliciously to do harm. And I think they should stay in jail. I think the ones who assaulted police officers should stay in prison. But who cares? On his way out the door, Joe Biden pretty much acknowledged his family was an ongoing criminal enterprise. He pardoned them all on the way out the door. You want me to get upset? And you know, I said this yesterday. I actually used the middle finger emoji on Twitter and said, I'm sorry, but for those of you who really were giving Joe Biden a pass and now upset, here's the middle finger to you. I mean, that's what's happening. That's what they feel. But they're all wrong, Eric. They're all bad. They're all bad. You don't have to I'm not justifying it. I recognize that some of the people who got pardoned last night should probably stay in jail. And you know what? I don't really care at this point. Because what I have found is that everybody wants me to care greatly about everything Donald Trump does, and not a single damn person who gets worked up about it ever cared what Joe Biden did. Why do I have to get in high dungeon all the time? Donald Trump does, what about? You know what? Yeah, some of them should have stayed in jail. I don't care. Joe Biden just pardoned his entire family, and notice how quickly the media moved on under the excuse of, well, he's not president anymore. Or giving him the exact same amount of coverage you gave him for 4 years when he was the president. You don't care. You don't want to cover it. You don't want to have to acknowledge it. You don't want to get Democrats on to criticize him. You want to move on to Trump. You want to move on to January 6th. And oh boy, are they here. What's his name? That police officer who turns out to be a serious lefty on with Anderson Cooper last night.
I just heard the news from your producers a few moments ago. The only thing that's going through my mind right now is that this is what the American people voted for. Donald Trump has been promising these pardons ever since he announced his candidacy in Waco, Texas, the scene of one of the most notorious battles between American law enforcement and the American extremist movement that resulted in the death of numerous law enforcement officers. Thanks, America.
This feels like a betrayal to you.
Oh, I have been betrayed by my country.
I have been betrayed by my country. No, you haven't, you arrogant, fatuous peddler of nonsense. You have not been betrayed by your country. You know, the voters were betrayed by Joe Biden. The voters were promised a return to normalcy. Joe Biden told them, I would never do anything like this, and he did. If you're upset, be upset with Joe Biden and the Democrats. Isn't it remarkable how the left, they can never be upset with the Democrats. It's always the American people. You stupid Americans did this to me. You betrayed me. No, the Democrats and members of the media, who this guy's not upset about, covered for Joe Biden for 4 years, gave him a pass on virtually everything. On his way out the door, he commutes and pardons his family and a bunch of people. No conversation at all. We got to move to Trump. We got to be angry about Trump. Listen to this mind-numbed idiot on MSNBC.
It was interesting to me. I was texting with a lot of Democrats from across the country, state legislative leaders, because this fight is going to be in the states. As much as we look at Congress, America's policy is made in the state legislatures. And one senior Dem state legislator from out west texted me and said, no, he literally just let his private militia out of jail. He instilled a sense of loyalty. These people feel loyal to him, and their lawlessness is now going to go unchecked, and he can now call on them again to do what they would like.
Oh, good Lord. This is what you get on MSNBC, where they're trying to foment, after years of trying to get Donald Trump killed, I guess they're now trying to foment some sort of insurrection. They are not well. Listen, it doesn't matter how much I tell you I think some of these people should be in jail. It's not going to matter. The left refuses to acknowledge what Joe Biden did on his way out the door was a terrible breach of norms. So why should I get worked up? Why should any of you get worked up by this? Donald Trump kept a promise. He's been telling people for months, for a year, that he was going to do this, and he kept his promise. You should be excited we actually have a president who kept his promise, unlike Joe Biden, who promised to never do preemptive pardons and broke his promise. Why are you upset? And by the way, for those of you outraged by this, let me just go over to Scott Jennings.
Here's what I think. Were these people punished? Yes. Were they ruined financially? Yes. Did they spend time in jail? Yes. Have their lives been ruined? Absolutely. And one of you said earlier, Van or Axe, that you think this sends a terrible signal that you can get away with things like this. So we've never had a moment in recent American history when people were not punished for rampaging around when they shouldn't have been. It was the summer of 2020.
Amen. It was the summer of 2020. Remember, in the spring of 2020, it was reporters, not Democrats. It was reporters. When small business owners protested wanting their businesses back open, it was reporters that said, if these people get COVID, they should be denied life-saving treatment. And then during the summer, the same reporters were like, well, it's their constitutional right to go out and protest. After all, look what happened. Yes, look what happened. Look what happened. The double standard from the press when it came to the summer riots and tweets, but it's the Capitol. It's the Capitol. You know what? Tell somebody it's the Capitol when it's their livelihood that got wiped out by race rioters in 2020. See if they really care about the Capitol that will be taken care of by federal government. By the way, it was the left that told us property damage is not violence. There are going to be times in the next 4 years where Donald Trump does something boneheaded that I think is dumb. I'll call it out on it. Like trying to do an executive order on TikTok. A bipartisan law passed by Congress, upheld unanimously by the United States Supreme Court, giving him no power to try to postpone it, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. He should be stopped by a court. It's dumb. We should stop kowtowing to China. It is their surveillance and propaganda app, their indoctrination tool against American kids. We should shut it down instead of trying to make kissy face with China, which is what he's doing, whether you want to believe it or not. It's wrong. I'll call him out on it. But this, y'all, I'm sorry. I mean, Joe Biden walks out of the White House and pardons his family preemptively, pardons Mark Milley preemptively. What crime did Mark Milley commit? The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, by accepting a pardon, is giving tacit admission that he committed a crime. What about Tony Fauci? What crime did he commit? Gain of function research, weaponizing a virus that then killed a bunch of Americans? Is that what he's admitting to by accepting a pardon from Joe Biden? You want me to get upset by this? I think he shouldn't have done it in some cases. But forgive me for not being really outraged by it after a 4-year outrage by the Biden administration that the media, the press corps of America, complicit in covering up. Forgive me for not being outraged when the press corps can't be bothered to cover Joe Biden's behaviors on his way out the door because he's not president anymore. They would rather talk about Donald Trump. The press is not going to learn to change. There are plenty of other great executive orders that Donald Trump did last night. They're outraged. But you know what? It's a planned outrage, too. That's the other thing. You know, and I know, they knew This is what they were going to cover. Donald Trump has kept his promise. They weren't going to cover it as a term of promises made, promises kept. They were going to cover it in terms of outrage. And Joe Biden made it really damn inconvenient for him with his preemptive pardons of his family members, signaling his family has been the Biden crime family that everyone on the right said it was, the media dismissed. And yet the media doesn't want to go back and revisit and say, oh, perhaps we got that wrong. No, instead they just would be outraged about Donald Trump and pardons they knew have been coming for a year because Donald Trump kept his promise. Whether I like it or not, doesn't matter. He kept his promise. You knew he was going to do it. And the hysterical level of outrage from Democrats and members of the media on little Eric Swalwell tweeted out how outrageous it was that there has not been a day in American history where more cops were harmed in a single day. I was alive for 9/11, you moron. There was only one person who died that day. It was one of the protesters. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm not going to play that game. And I really don't care that you, a Democrat or you, a Trump hater, are upset with me for not being upset. You don't get to control my emotions. I do. You don't get to control what I'm outraged about. I do. You don't get to tell me what I should or should not be outraged about because many of you don't know when to not to be outraged. You live in a virtual state of outrage, and members of the media are outraged about everything Donald Trump does. In the last 24 hours, Donald Trump has answered more questions and spent more time with the American press corps than Joe Biden did in 4 years in office, and the press is outraged because it's what they do when Donald Trump comes to power. They're just outraged about the outrage of Donald Trump getting elected. And to Michael, what's your name? The American people did not betray you. The Democrats and the press corps, complicit in the conspiracy to protect Joe Biden, betrayed you by keeping a derelict dementia patient in office for as long as they did, that they couldn't win re-election. And you want to blame the American people, sir? You want to blame the American people? Why don't you go check your ego at the door and try to rein it in? The American people didn't betray you. Why don't you find the people who actually did? It wasn't Donald Trump and it wasn't the people. Donald Trump kept his promise, and the people rejected the people who betrayed you, that you're too stupid to realize betrayed you.
Want to be on the show?
I love your show.
Call Eric now at 877-973-7425.
1221 The Cool Red Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center in DeKalb County. We're checking for a travel advisory crash taking out 2 left lanes, I-20 eastbound near Wesley Chapel Road. That's exit 68, causing you some delay on the east side. I'm Chinaway Maponya, 95.5 WSB.
All right, friends, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. The new keyword is joy. J-O-Y, joy. Enter the keyword joy into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword and win $1,000. The keyword joy, J-O-Y. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. The keyword is joy. Good luck.
Hey, Belinda here, and I have Barry Petrie, Director of Virtual Imaging. Barry has a very interesting testimonial to share with our listeners. Barry, tell us your story.
Well, Belinda, exactly a year ago when I took over my role, one of the first things I did was scan. And at the time, I was 54 years old, never had any issues, was in a good shape, worked out every day. And I was shocked to find out that I had a score of over 1,000 on my calcium. So, and most of that 1,000 was concentrated in my LAD, which you know is the widowmaker. Okay. So immediately started working with an interventional cardiologist, working with a functional medicine specialist to try to correct that. And unfortunately, about 4 months ago, I started having symptoms and rescanned. And at this point, my calcium score had gone from 1,000 to over 1,500, and that LAD score had gone up to over 1,000. So long story short, ended up going to Northside and getting a stent put into my LAD. And now today I feel great. I regained the gear that I didn't know that I had lost. And had I not taken this role as Director of Virtual Imaging a year ago, I probably would have not known this, and I could have been one of those folks that looks perfectly healthy and drops dead.
Absolutely. Folks, that story hits home. What are you waiting for? Go to Virtual Imaging and get complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or visit virtualimagingatl.com. It could save your life.
Wall cracks, window stuck, could be a foundation problem. Mark Beckham with Atlanta Ramjack, and our estimators are thoroughly trained to get you the proper valuation for your home. Schedule your free assessment with the foundation repair experts at atlantaramjack.com.
It's Eric here, and with the election ended, there is change in the air. A new day dawns for American businesses. New regulations, new deregulation, new tax plan, new tax cuts. You may be smelling opportunity in the air. You may be seeing opportunity. Now is the time to consider reaching out to First Liberty Building and Loan and see if they might be able to help you put your plan that's in your head down to paper and see if they can help you capitalize on. There are so many opportunities out there. If you need to borrow $750,000 or more, well, First Liberty might be able to help you. They make their own lending decisions. They've been doing it since the 90s. They know how to do it, and because Frost family's been helping businesses since the 90s, they're still going to be there. You're not going to have lender rollover like you've had at other places. Reach out to them, FirstLibertyGA.com. FirstLibertyGA.com. Spend 10 minutes with them, see if you're a fit for them and them for you. FirstLibertyGA.com.
Do you depend on space heaters and a fireplace to stay warm inside your home? This is Daniel Jape from Jape Services, your local and licensed heating and air experts. From routine maintenance to installing a new furnace or handling emergency repairs, when you call Jape Services, I guarantee you'll be treated like family. Get warm this winter with Jape Services. Visit japeservices.com, JPE services.com.
You can count on us. Jape Services.
The following is a paid announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best with the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening for your farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance and support of Georgia farmers.
Heavy rains have recently impacted widespread areas of North Georgia. How did your roof hold up? Heavy rains expose roof leaks that can lead to water damage. Schedule a free roof analysis from Dave Baker, trusted and recommended. FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Your non-stop news source. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Join Eric's Army of Activists. Text ARMY to 33777 now.
Programming note for all of you, particularly those of you in the southeast, Dothan, Robertsdale, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and in the state of Georgia. Governor Brian Kemp, his team texted me about 2 minutes ago, said, can the governor come on and talk about this weather situation? Yes. I'm looking at the radar right now, and snow is throughout the southeast. So New Orleans, Louisiana had, for the first time in history, lake effect snow. That is the water vapor coming up. When you see it steamy in the wintertime lakes, that comes up, freezes, turns snow. New Orleans had that hurricane force winds this morning. Those of you on KROF down in Lafayette, you are snowed in right now. I know my parents in north of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, have about 4 inches of snow on the ground. Lake Charles, Louisiana, you guys are completely overwhelmed. Same with those of you in Houston listening right now. Governor Kemp going to talk about this. I've got a bunch of affiliates in Georgia, and ironically, those of you listening on my beloved Vidalia. My gosh, do I love you people, not just because of your onions and the shrimp deliveries that I get from some of you. I love you, and you are going to get buried under in snow. Stay where you are. Use your four-wheel drive. I may get snowed into my office because this is almost on top of me where I am, but I got four-wheel drive, so I'll be okay, and I got a haircut this afternoon. So I'm going to take a chance on the snow. but it is a dangerous developing storm. I'm looking at my radar right now, and there is precipitation falling lightly in the Atlanta area, in Sandy Springs, and it gets heavier the further south you go through the panhandle of Florida, where they're expecting blizzard conditions. Yes, you heard that right. Blizzard conditions in Tallahassee, Florida, which is unheard of. You know, I'm old enough to remember, 4 months ago, when the New York Times reported there would never be snow again in the South. And yet, here we are. Now, they should have had the vision to realize something was better. Like Vision Computer, they can help you realize you can get a better computer. They can make it easy for you. They can take your existing computer, take a hard drive, copy everything over to the new machine so everything is set up the way you like it. But you've got a bleeding edge machine with the graphic power and the CPU that you need to handle modern computing. And you get their world-class 5-star customer service, where if anything goes wrong, you can call a very special private number, and 15 seconds or less, 24/7, they answer your questions. They can even remote in. They can handle email. They can help you with your printer. They can help you with servers, whatever you need. If you're a small business and you can't afford an in-house IT guy, you should call Vision. Call them at 404-COMPUTE. And just for $179 a year per computer, they can be your IT solution, so you don't have to have the payroll for it, but you got somebody on call that can help you, and they can do this for your home or your office. Call them today. Tell them I sent you. You'll save even more money. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com. Tell them I sent you. You'll save even more money.
Live from the Superior Blink Studios.
News.
Weather. Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 12:30. I'm Austin Eller. Our top local story for the second time in 2 weeks. Winter weather returns to Metro Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has been closely following this storm. And Christina, what can we expect here in the Metro?
So what we can expect is the radar starting to fill with the precipitation that is falling. And I'm noticing that we are seeing a few flurries flying here in Midtown Atlanta. I'm also noticing the moisture levels of the atmosphere are starting to come upwards here in the metro region. So all that to say, yes, I know for many of us, nothing is falling just yet, but I do anticipate between now and the next 30 to 90 minutes, we should start to see the snow fall. The higher accumulations are going to be south of I-20 with up to 1 inch snowfall down toward Griffin and McDonough, but only a light dusting for out northern suburbs. Austin.
Thanks, Christina. Excuse me. Christina will be back with us here in a few minutes for your full forecast. DOT crews have been across the state to get ready for the icy conditions, or snowy conditions, I should say, today.
The Georgia Department of Transportation started efforts to basically pre-treat the entire state, starting with our interstates and our critical routes. And we have done that from Florida to Tennessee and from Alabama to South Carolina.
That's DOT Commissioner Russell McMurray. He says 448 snowplows positioned across the state to clear those roads after snow falls. We have live team coverage of traffic and weather up next. It's 12:31.
There's a new optimism in the air. We think investors like you might have the best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have minimum $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. We believe this is going to be a special year and a great year. We've got the projects. Now we need partners like you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They're not FDIC insured, guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is lawful.
Hey, Belinda here, and I have Barry Petrie, Director of Virtual Imaging. Barry has a very interesting testimonial to share with our listeners. Barry, tell us your story.
Well, Belinda, exactly a year ago when I took over my role, one of the first things I did was scan. And at the time, I was 54 years old, never had any issues, was in a good shape, worked out every day. And I was shocked to find out that I had a score of over 1,000 on my calcium. So, and most of that 1,000 was concentrated in my LAD, which you know is the widowmaker.
Not good.
So immediately started working with an interventional cardiologist, working with a functional medicine specialist to try to correct that. And unfortunately, about 4 months ago, I started having symptoms and scanned. And at this point, my calcium score had gone from 1,000 over 1,500, and that LAD score gone up to over 1,000. So, long story short, ended up going to Northside, getting a stent put into my LAD, and now today I feel great. I regained the gear that I didn't know that I had lost, and had I not taken this role as director of virtual imaging a year ago, I probably would have known this, and I'd have been one of those folks that looks perfectly healthy and drops dead.
Absolutely. Folks, that story hits home. What are you waiting for? Go to Virtual Imaging and get a complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or visit virtualimagingatl.com. It could save your life.
It's 12:34. Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Chin Wade in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
A couple of things going on I-20 eastbound over in DeKalb. We've got a travel advisory, a crash taking out 2 left lanes on I-20 eastbound near Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. And on the other side, on the west side, Fulton County, we got a crash taking out the right lane on I-20 eastbound near I-285. So you're seeing delays there as well. I'm Shayma Ponya-Cook, 95.5 WSB.
And I'm 95.5 WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cloudy skies right now. The snow showers will be falling through the course of this afternoon, tapering off after 6 p.m. The greater accumulation amounts will be on the south side from Newnan, Fayetteville, Griffin into Covington. Expect no more than a dusting to a light accumulation for Roswell, Alpharetta, Lawrenceville along I-20. We could have up to half an inch of snow showers from Carrollton into Villa Rica and over towards Conyers and Covington. Today's high is 32, low tonight 15. Tomorrow mostly sunny, high 36. Live in the Storm Center, meteorologist Christina Edwards.
It's 30 degrees in Conyers, Norcross, and Midtown. More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happened. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
To the Eric Erickson Show.
Welcome back. It's Eric Erickson here across the United States, but I'm also across the Southeast and have about 20 stations in Georgia. And I literally just made all of my employees in my office in Middle Georgia go home. I'm stuck. I got four-wheel drive. I think I'll be okay getting home after the show. But the snow is arriving where I am earlier than anticipated, and I can see it on the radar much heavier than what they expected to get. My parents in South Louisiana are at 4 inches right now, and it's still coming down with hurricane force winds where they live. Tallahassee is expecting 10 to 12 inches of snow. And those of you down in Vidalia listening to me right now on WVOP, you're going to get a lot of snow in Vidalia and Savannah. Joining me to talk about this happens to be the governor of the state of Georgia. Aren't you tired of these winter storms?
Hey, good morning, Eric. Yeah, or I guess early afternoon now. It's kind of crazy to be thinking about that we're in the state of Georgia. And I was up in Washington, D.C. yesterday talking about the snowstorm response with the governor of Florida, but that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know Florida had snow plows. I knew we had some up in North Georgia. And by the way, I got to just tell you and commend you between Georgia Power and the state. I've seen utility trucks and snow plows headed south on 75 today, and even out my window seeing some head down I-16 in the last little while, repositioning. So good job getting stuff in place early.
Yeah, I had a few people text me yesterday and said, hey, we're seeing snowplows headed south, and so the team's been preparing really since Sunday. We've been grinding roads, as your report on WSB was just talking about, with Commissioner Murray and Georgia DOT grinding from Alabama to the South Carolina line, and from far north Georgia really all the way down to deep parts of South Georgia. This storm, when you see it on radar, it's really interesting. I mean, it looks like it's snowing in the ocean right now in Louisiana and Alabama, and that's what's coming. It's going to start hitting our state in the southwest corner first, which is very unusual, and we'll probably see more snow and participation in middle and south Georgia than we do in the metro area. But we're also just watching to make sure this storm does move. If anybody gets a little bit of accumulation, it's going to be very tricky because it's so cold right now. It'll, potentially melt when it hits the ground and refreeze and creates ice. And even if you got a four-wheel drive, that can be treacherous.
Well, honestly, as you and I are talking, it is snowing in Macon. I can see flakes now outside the window for the first time. It's light, probably not sticking right now, but I'm looking at the weather radar right now. And the Columbus area, Manchester, Americus, Montezuma already starting to see flakes. It is kind of weird to think it's coming from the south to the north instead of north to the south like every other one.
Well, what Will Langton was saying, the state meteorologist, was that it's so cold and this hits, the problems on roads and bridges will develop very quickly, which is not what happened, a week or so ago when we had that storm. It was nice snow to start with before it really froze over, and people had time to react. If you're out and about and you get caught in this, you have a potential to have really treacherous roads out there, especially early afternoon on into this evening. So I would just urge people, look, if you're out trying to get something done, get wrapped up, try to get home where this hits, get your kids in a safe place, watch out for the elderly and pets and other things, and just try to hunker down. Let's let this thing pass, and then it allows us to be able to continue to plow roads when we need to, saw bridges, keep brining. It's a real challenge because we don't have as much equipment in the southern part of the state as we do up north. The counties don't have the equipment that the local communities do up north, and so the resources are spread out a little bit more. So if you can just give us time to get to everything and to respond and stay out the road, that would be a big help. Last thing is just, watch out for frozen water pipes. It's going to be very cold for the next 48 hours.
Governor, before I let you get off here, and thanks for the spur-of-the-moment reach out and to be able to get on. I'm happy to be able to do it. But can you just talk real quick before I let you go? The priority for brining the roads, I'm assuming it's like interstates and major highways. So we're not talking the road in your cul-de-sac in your neighborhood that the state's looking at.
Yeah, really just interstates and state routes is what we're doing. Just trying to keep 2 lanes of traffic open, if at all possible, where we can have emergency vehicles be able to go both ways, that being a fire truck, ambulance, if we need to get into a clear wreck or something of that nature. And the pre-treating just gives us more time. If you don't pre-treat and then try to react to a storm, it is really hard to catch up and get in front of it. So one thing we learned from years past is we need to get ahead and pre-treat and not react to the storm, be prepared before, which is why we took the early state of emergency. I know a lot of the other governors that are in the path of this have done the same thing to be able to do exactly what we're doing, and we're just asking our citizens to help us with that effort. And they certainly did that in the last storm, Eric, and it really helped us be able to respond, not only prior to the storm, but during and after. And I just appreciate you and the members of the media helping get this out, because it's unusual for us to be more worried about Columbus, Macon, and Augusta than, the northern part of our state in a storm like this. So we just want to make sure everybody, I-20 South, I-85 South is hearing this message.
Well, look, I appreciate you stopping by. I won't take more of your time. I know you got a lot to do. Thank you for reaching out.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. And for those listening, and again, y'all listen, I know we got folks in Sacramento, we've got folks in Anchorage. You guys in Anchorage have got to be laughing about this right now, or those of you in Illinois or Monty even. But just so you understand, in Georgia, we've got I-20 cuts across the northern third of the state, kind of the divide between the Atlanta area and south, and snow rarely reaches south of I-20. And today, I'm looking at the weather radar right now, and there is snow from the Florida-Alabama line up towards Atlanta. In fact, it's at a crisscross of the state from Columbus, Georgia. It's snowing right now in Augusta, Georgia, Hepzibah, Sandersville, Wrightsville. Dublin is out to get snow. Where I am in Macon, Georgia, right in the geographic center of the state, the snowflakes are coming past my window right now, and the real heavy stuff is going to be falling in the next hour, so I may be stuck in the office. We'll see how my four-wheel drive works today. South of us, though, down into Florida, it actually, as Governor Kemp was saying, he and Governor DeSantis yesterday were talking about the blizzard they were going to get in Florida. In fact, let me pull this up right now. I've got great weather applications here, And yeah, I can see that the Tallahassee is fine right now, but what is coming, I mean, as the governor was saying, it is literally snowing. Let me pull this up just so. Fort Walton Beach, Florida, 25 miles south into the Gulf of America. It is still snowing. 25 miles out in the water, the radar is detecting snow. My parents are over in East Feliciana Parish, Louisiana. Y'all, my God almighty. Holy cow. I wish y'all could see this. The amount of snow. Those of you other in KROF in Lafayette, you are, you're just getting, y'all in Lake Charles, you're clear now. Lafayette, however, you are in the thick of it. You can see New Orleans, really, really heavy stuff. Mom and Dad, it's clear where you are right now, but you're about to get hit with another heavy wave of snow. And y'all, this is the like south. This is deep south. This is live oaks and plantations and pecan orchards. And those pecan trees, for those of us of the refined South, the pecan tree, because the pecan is something you flush, the branches are going to get way down with ice, and they're going to start falling. And I realize, again, my apologies to those of you in Tulsa and Dayton and Connecticut and everywhere, but this is just, I have a massive nerve stations in the South, and not all of them have weather teams that can do this sort of thing, and here I am in my office literally watching snowfall. We haven't had snow in Macon of any measurable amount in several years, and suddenly it's here. And, you know, this side note brings me to this issue of all the global warming climate change headlines of the last year, where constantly we've been told by the American media that the days of snow in the United States were coming to an end. And they try to have it both ways. It's climate change. It's winter. It's winter. And as long as I've lived in Georgia since 1993. Came over to go to Mercer University, my alma mater. And the year before, the spring before I got to Mercer, they had a 14-inch snowbank on campus. It snowed so heavy. There's a pizza restaurant I go to. Everybody gets a laugh at how I tell the story. There's a pizza restaurant I eat at called Ingleside Village Pizza. And if you go into men's bathroom, they have newspaper headlines framed on the wall. And one of the newspaper headlines is how Macon, Georgia, in 1979, I think it was, got 10 inches of snow. Shut the whole city down for a week because the snow never melted. Every 3 to 4 years, we get snow. We had the ice storm of 2011. We had Snowmageddon in 2014. We had snow in 2017. We're having snow now. It's not unheard of. It's just uncommon for the snow to come up from the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America now, as opposed to coming down from Canada. Usually it's a Canadian invasion, and now it's a Mexican invasion of snow, and not the kind of snow that normally comes in from Mexico, if you know what I mean. So, anyway, it's a big deal here in the South. We will see if I can get home this afternoon after I do the show. Now, why don't we do this? Why don't we go on and reset? I can do my commercial breaks. We got people on hold. I have so much more beyond the weather we've got to talk about today, including on CNN. I kid you not, I have the audio. They actually compared Donald Trump to Joseph Stalin, one of their analysts did. And on PBS, they're having a meltdown over Elon Musk, his one-armed dog. Oh, it was a Nazi salute. Oh, give me a break. They actually said he went Sieg Heil. The reporter, I got the audio, or Hail Hitler. I got the audio for these people are losing their minds. And now they're attacking poor people for voting for Donald Trump on MSNBC. I got all the audio. You got to listen to it. I got your phone calls. Right now, let me tell you about Old Glory Bank, because they want to be your bank. They are my bank. And right now, by the way, Old Glory Bank is my bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, all that stuff. But if you're interested in an investment opportunity in Old Glory Bank, you can do it right now. They bypassed the traditional IPO route on Wall Street. They're going straight to Main Street. You can go to own.oldglorybank.com. Full disclosure, I did this. I did invest in the bank. I like the management team. I like the leadership. Mike, the CEO, is an upstanding guy. They took a bank in Oklahoma. They rebranded it as Old Glory Bank. They made it nationally available to people to use, and they are my bank. I have a checking account with them, a savings account with them, and I'm happy to help them capitalize. And trying to bypass essentially the progressives on Wall Street who buy up bank shares and then use their voting clout to force woke management practices. If you want to go to own.oldglorybank.com, OWN, own.oldglorybank.com, unique opportunity for you, something you're interested in. See if it's a fit for you. Own and stock has risks. It's not FDIC insured. Stock goes up, stock goes down. Terms and conditions apply. Go check them out. Own.oldglorybank.com.
When the world seems crazy, he'll keep you sane. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
1248 in the Cool Rate Carrier WB 24-hour traffic center. Watching for this travel advisory indicating a crash. It's taking out 2 left lanes, I-20 eastbound near Wesley Chapel Road, and now your delays are starting to back up onto I-285. So if you can, take Flat Shoals Parkway. That's exit 48 to avoid those delays. And over on the west side, we got some better news. That crash has been cleared I-20 eastbound past Fulton Industrial, a lot closer to 285. So your delays are improving on the west side. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, listening on 95.5 WB.
The pomp and circumstance are over.
Donald Trump becomes president
Congratulations, Mr. Trump.
and promises big changes.
Changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Now the work begins.
Puts America first.
As each story breaks, we'll have it covered for you.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at leaseyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Do you think you need to renovate your kitchen, but you're worried about the cost? Well, Frugal Kitchens can help you get $1 million looking kitchen for a fraction of the cost and 18 months, no interest financing available. The best part, they can get you back up and cooking in 5 days from the start of construction. Life happens in your kitchen. That's where you build so many memories. If you're like Christy and me, that's why we use Frugal Kitchens, and you can too. FrugalKitchens.com is the website. Go check them out. Don't forget, 18 months, no interest financing available. FrugalKitchens.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, HD1 Doorbell, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I think you need to fire your coach. This is the time of year that a lot of football programs are deciding they need new leadership. What about you? Have you found yourself in a new year with the same old problems? Maybe the best move you could make would be to fire yourself as your head coach and let God have that role. I'd love to help you talk through how to do that. Reach out to me at our website, thisstuffmatters.net. This is Tom Gray, and This Stuff Matters.
Thisstuffmatters.net.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text data to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
It is Eric Erickson here. Welcome. The phone number, if you want to be on the program, 877-973-7425. Let's get to the phones. Bill in Tulsa, who must be undoubtedly laughing at those of us with no concern south. Welcome to the show. How are you?
We just got well, thank you for taking the call. We just got a little 8-inch snow here last week. We were down at 8 degrees here. Well, 2 actually.
Good
0
Lord.
up in Bartlesville. Well, anyway, Oklahoma, the red state, the land of the free. I get a kick out of these people thinking that the Democrats are going to smarten up or change their views or their approach. If their religion, their ideologues, they're going to obstruct up just like the vote on Hudspeth yesterday. Perfectly along party lines, he got approved from the Senate Armed Race Committee by 1 vote. Anyway, I like to hear people say this, that people are going to change their view. I haven't changed my morals, values, or ethics for the last 30, 40 years, but the country has changed a lot of morals, values, and ethics. So I'm classified as a right-wing extremist when I haven't changed it at all. And I like your attitude. I like your attitude of not accepting or apologizing for things. Just because someone has crazy and they're wearing a skirt and got a mustache doesn't mean that I have to go along with that. At what point do my rights become just as valid as theirs? If you want to do that, that's okay by me, but don't expect me to sanction it. That's just my thinking.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Look, I agree with you, Bill, and it is amazing how essentially the entirety of the left-wing operation these days has been to censor and bully. I mean, like, for example, I said on Twitter, I'm sorry, I'm not worked up over these pardons. And the horde of angry leftists, how can you say that you call yourself a Christian? Like, look, it doesn't mean I agree with all the pardons, but I'm not going to get worked up about it. You people aren't worked up about Joe Biden's pardons. Why should I be worked up about this? Why should I allow Donald Trump to control my emotional state based on what he does or doesn't do? Good gracious. Eric in Edgewater, Florida, you're up next. Welcome. How are you?
Great show, sir. I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to say it. I could easily listen to them other two guys, Clay and Buck, but I love your centrist look on things, and you're not afraid to call out Donald Trump when we think he's wrong. So on that note, here's a question. First of all, the legality of pardoning somebody that hasn't even been charged. But are these leftists nuts? They don't look at their own history. Do they realize that Joe Biden is now allowing Donald Trump to have his people do whatever the hell they want, and then he's just going to pardon them preemptively? Do they realize?
I mean, Eric, this is, I would point out to every progressive who's upset about what Donald Trump has done with January 6 people, Donald Trump thought about doing preemptive pardons in 2020 and chose not to. He chose to respect constitutional precedent and not do it. He said when he got back to office he would pardon them, but none of them had been charged and convicted with crimes. He wasn't going to do preemptive pardons on his way out the door. Joe Biden chose to break the precedent. Joe Biden chose to defy historic constitutional norms, not Donald Trump. Donald Trump's promise. By the way, there is a question as to whether or not it's constitutionally permissible. My sense of things is the power of the president to pardon is an unchecked power. That is, the president has complete unfettered ability to pardon. But the Supreme Court had said about 100 years ago that if you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. So he can, by accepting the pardon, they're essentially saying, I committed a crime. And a pardon is not necessarily, a pardon can happen. There's historic precedent for pardons happening before someone is prosecuted and found guilty by a jury. And this just ups the timetable. But Donald Trump, you may not like his pardons, but he's not shattering historic norms. Joe Biden is the one who did that. And Joe Biden just set a precedent that Donald Trump can use in the future, that preemptive pardons are now something presidents can do. Presidents have not done this before Joe Biden. If you're upset about Donald Trump doing it in the future, you can thank Joe Biden. Notice how Democrats today are very quiet on Joe Biden. None of them wish to attack Joe Biden. None of them wish to vilify Joe Biden. They're in the mess they're in because of Joe Biden. And yet they can't bring themselves to do it. It's just remarkable that this is where the Democrats have landed. This hour of the program is brought to you by First Liberty Building and Loan. First Liberty in Noonan, Georgia. But if you're in Sacramento listening to KST, or you're down in Lafayette, snowed in today, listening to me on the radio, they can help your business there as well. They help business in all 50 states. And they'd love to help your business grow. If you see opportunity in the coming economic environment and you want to grow, First Liberty might be able to help you. Reach out to them, firstlibertyga.com. If you need access to capital, like $750,000 more to grow, well, you know what? First Liberty, they're there for you. FirstLibertyGA.com is their website. You can get all their contact info, FirstLibertyGA.com. When we come back, I got to get into these amazing sound bites from the American media losing their mind over Donald Trump.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could cover in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 1 o'clock, I'm Austin Eller. Our top local story is that winter storm. Many Georgia school districts closed today or have remote learning as that storm continues to make its way through Metro. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has been following it all day. Christina, how are things looking here?
So here, I'm noticing that we are getting some snow shower reports in the Woodstock area. I'm also noticing that if you're following along on the radar, you'll notice that it went from looking like there was no snow, and now there's quite a bit of white developing on the radar with the school around the city of Atlanta. That is a classic sign that the atmosphere is starting to moisten up. The more moisture we have in the air, the more it's going to support your snow showers. So between now and 2 p.m., I anticipate the snow showers to really start to fly in the metro region. Do you want to mitigate your expectations? It's not going to be like what it was 10 days ago. We're looking at about a dusting for the northern suburbs to perhaps 1 inch for the southern suburbs.
Thank you, Christina. And Christina will be back with us here in a few minutes for Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. State officials say it's all hands on deck as that winter weather moves in.
Current storm tracks have officials looking to the south of the metro for most of the impacts, but Governor Kemp says anything can happen when it comes to winter weather.
There's a big difference in those two lines. You're talking 4 to 5 inches in middle Georgia and below, and a couple of inches in metro Atlanta. But if those things shift just a little bit, it can create a lot of havoc.
The state is staging resources in South Georgia to respond after the weather comes through. The governor and other state leaders are encouraging everyone to stay warm, stay off the roads. At GEMA headquarters, Jonathan O'Brien, Lee 5 WSB.
And officials say there's no need to panic buy as that weather comes in. Here's GEMA Director Chris Stallings.
This is not a run on grocery stores. It's not a go buy all the bread, milk, and eggs that you can get your hands on event. This is going to be with us for 36, 48 hours.
He says you should, however, charge your phone, gather up blankets in case the power goes out. If you've got a generator, make sure you know how to use it safely. Quick update on how the weather's impacting operations at the Atlanta airport. FlightAware shows 225 flights have been delayed there so far today, while 180 have been canceled. We've got live team coverage of traffic and weather up next. It's 102.
Guys, Eric, you've heard President Trump. He wants tariffs, not just on China, but on a lot of trading partners. You know what that's going to mean? Technology purchases going to be going up. Why? Because so much of the computer components are manufactured in countries that are going to see the tariffs. So start insulating yourself from increased costs now. reach out to Vision Computer, 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputer.com. Let them get building on your technology. Let them help you plan out to terror-proof your business by insulating yourself from those increased costs. Vision Computer can help you. And not only that, if you call them at 404-COMPUTE, you get their 5-star customer service, and you get it for free. You don't have to pay because you got your computer from Vision Computers, and they build great bleeding-edge machines. They'll take care of you. They'll help you navigate the upside-down world we may be expecting with the economics to come, and they'll make sure your computer and your company are up and running. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
At Coosa Valley Credit Union, we're committed to offering our members the most competitive interest rates in the market. Now, auto loan rates are as low as 3.99%. This is Andy Harris. Come see us for lower rates and kinder banking at Coosa Valley Credit Union.
Equal Opportunity Lender.
A Total Plumbing is now part of your trusted Ace Hardware Home Services team. Their expert plumbers are ready to provide top-notch service and repair. Visit a-totalplumbing.com to learn more. A Total Plumbing and Ace Hardware Home Services, bringing helpful to your home.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That's amazing.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every
This
weekday.
is Dawn in Breckleton, and I just won $1,000 for WSB.
Enter the word at WSBradio.com or on WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming to
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
on 95.5 WSB.
It's 1:05. We've got live team coverage of traffic weather. Chinway is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Still watching for this travel advisory. In DeKalb, we got a crash taking out 2 left lanes on I-20 eastbound near Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. I will say that the delays are improving slightly, not all the way backed up on 285 like it was before, so people are getting through in those right lanes. I'm Chinway Maponia Cook, listening on 95.5 WSB. Watching for snow showers between now and 6 p.m. Today's high is 32. Very cold tonight, low 15. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 36. And on Thursday, partly cloudy, morning low 22, afternoon high 41. Live in the Storm Center, meteorologist Christina Edwards.
It is 31 degrees right now in Forest Park, 28 in Mableton, and 29 in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Greetings, conversationalists across the fruited plain. Welcome. Those of you in Purple Mountains Majesty, well, we got white beaches across Georgia today. It's actually snow. Headed in Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. I mean, we had, well, things I better not say on radio. Those aren't sheets on the ground in the South. Cracked myself up and no one else. Everyone was like, I can't believe you just said that on the radio. There's snow everywhere, y'all. There is snow everywhere down here. It's starting to snow where I am. The phone number for the program, 877-973-7425. I I want to skip the snow right now, and I want to focus on the absolute mental problems on the left. Yesterday, I mentioned that the left is not having a normal one. Left-wing institutions are run by psychotic, neurotic people. MSNBC is overwhelmed with a bunch of emotionally, mentally unstable women folk who do not have a sense of humor and are absolutely distraught over Donald Trump coming to office. I am not surprised that most of the women at MSNBC yesterday wore black. They are a hive mind of neuroses and groupthink. This is Nicole Wallace starting.
Hi, everyone. It's all happening. It's 7 o'clock here in New York and in Washington, D.C. We just witnessed the first inauguration of a convicted felon to become the President of the United States of America. Donald Trump was sworn into office in front of a crowd inside the Capitol Rotunda, flanked by family, past presidents, member of Congress, and a whole bunch of tech industry billionaires who were very, very close to him. He will soon deliver remarks for the third time today at the Capital One Arena in D.C. He'll give those remarks right before he signs a barrage of executive orders, many of which are targeted at immigration.
She looked like she'd been crying. These people are upset. By the way, notice how the tech billionaires are only a problem now that they've decided to recognize Donald Trump. The left was perfectly fine with the tech billionaires. They were perfectly fine with Elon Musk when they thought he was on their side. They were perfectly fine with Tim Cook, who they still think is on their side, or upset he was there. They were fine with Mark Zuckerberg for years. They were fine with all the tech billionaires who now must be blind. It's much like the United States Supreme Court. It's the same problem. The left, when they controlled or thought they had a leg up on the Supreme Court, were perfectly fine with the Supreme Court. Not a damn thing changed except for control of the Supreme Court ideologically, and now it's some sort of malignant institution. Anything the left does not control must be vilified and condemned. And MSNBC is a propaganda machine for the left, and these people have serious emotional instability. On radio, you cannot see Nicole Wallace's face, but she looked flushed. She looks like she's been crying at the thought of Donald Trump going back into the White House. She's wearing black, as if she's at a funeral. They're all wearing black. These people are neurotic, and by the way, they hate you. This is Matthew Dowd on MSNBC. Listen to this.
The combined wealth of the few hundred billionaires in America, which Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos are part of, are the leaders of, have more wealth than the 75 million people who voted for Vice President Harris combined. The few hundred billionaires have more wealth than 75 million people who voted for Vice President combined in this. And I think it's incredible. It's an incredible situation. And the problem I see is the same thing repeating itself of what happened in the Civil War and the aftermath, where the working class whites of the South had nothing to benefit by maintaining the system. Nothing, because they got nothing out of it. They got nothing out of the plantations. They got nothing out of it. But we're convinced, because of cultural sort of language and division, that the white working class, who should have sided with the North and should have sided with more freedom and should have sided with the freed slaves, ended up becoming part of that sort of awful thing. And that led through civil rights. And that powerful people, and this is my fear today, back then powerful people convinced the white working class was not the rich wasn't the enemy who were gobbling up everything. It was these cultural elites that were the enemy in their mind. And it's the same thing is happening today. The powerful people are trying to segment off the white working class who are getting no benefit from this and suffer in Trump presidency and the presidency. But the same thing is repeating itself in our country again.
Like that, you white working class people are too stupid to figure out what's in your own best interest. If only you had Matthew Dow and Joy Reid to tell you. Here's a list of the wealthiest Americans. Elon Musk, Trump supporter. Jeff Bezos, I have a hard time believing he's a Trump supporter. Mark Zuckerberg, yep. Larry Ellison, yep. Warren Buffett, absolutely not. Larry Page, Sergey Brin, notice how they want nothing to do with Donald Trump. Steve Ballmer, definitely a lib. Bill Gates, lib. Mike Bloomberg, lib. Jensen Hong, I believe he is on the left. Michael Dell is on the right. I don't know whether he supported Trump or Harris. The Walton family there. Charles Koch on the right. Jeff Yass is a Trump supporter. Don Mars and Jacqueline Mars. I don't know. Steven Schwartzman. I thought he was lib. Griffin on the right. Thomas Murphy on the right. Phil Knight, big lib. Mackenzie Scott, Jeff Bezos' ex, definitely a Kamala Harris supporter. You got a pretty significant divide up and down Forbes' list of the 400 wealthiest Americans. You have a massive, massive array of very progressive people there. And yet they're only focused on Musk and Bezos and Zuckerberg. Those are the top 3 wealthiest Americans because they control institutions, Twitter, Amazon, and Facebook, that the left thinks should be on their side. And because they're not, they're having a meltdown with them. And you got Matthew Dowd's commentary on MSNBC that they think that the working class of this country are a bunch of stupid poor people who need government to give them welfare, and they're too stupid to know what's in their best interest. You got that? If you don't have a college degree, you're too stupid to know what's in your best interest. You need Joy Reid and Matthew Dowd to explain it to you. The level of arrogance from these people. And then it's not them. Have a total normal one here. Listen to this conversation on CNN where they literally go, the military analyst to a lib goes to the Stalin conversation. It's absolutely bizarre there. Listen to this.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, one of the most respected positions in the military. What message does this send, do you think, on a night like this?
Well, it's quite an extraordinary message, Laura, because the chairman is the #1 ranking military officer in the United States.
And I should stop right there. The outrage is that they took Mark Milley's picture down at the Pentagon yesterday. The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs Staff, they took his picture down. Trump wanted his picture gone. They took it down. And this is what this is about.
In that capacity. This is the very first time that a portrait like this has been removed from the wall at the Pentagon in the hall in the E-ring where these portraits hang. So the message that it sends is basically one of intimidation to the military leadership, to the brass. And it basically says you at the pleasure of the president, which is true. I mean, that is what law says. But it also means that their tenure could be very short-lived if they displease the president.
Do you think this will land well with the rank and file members to know that somebody who is so senior literally has his picture, I guess, kind of snatched off the wall?
It's almost Stalinist in terms of moving from the wall and
almost Stalin-esque. Removing Mark Milley's picture from the wall is almost all. And she's like, what about the enlisted? Do you think the enlisted will like it? First of all, who cares? They serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. Secondly, do you people not know any enlisted members of the military? Because I know a lot of them, and not a single one of them liked Mark Milley. I literally do not know a single enlisted member of the military who liked the former Joint Chiefs of Staff and thought he was competent. I don't know, and I know a lot of them. I know a lot of members of the military. That you would have someone on there thinking that this is going to impact the morale of the enlisted, they're probably celebrating it. Did you not see the video of the Virginia Military Institute at 2 a.m. when over the loudspeaker they declared Donald Trump would be president of the United States? They awoke from their beds and cheered. How out of touch are you people in the press? And then, of course, there is PBS, which went full Nazi on Elon Musk.
And Stephanie, there was a now controversial moment earlier today where Elon Musk gave these back-to-back gestures that people are saying mimicked a Nazi salute. You see it there. Elon Musk has not directly addressed this, but he has appeared to edit out that gesture from the video that he posted on X, the platform he, of course, owns. Help us understand what transpired.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Elon Musk does not appear to be on the podium with the president now, even though he was with him throughout the day. I don't know if that was scheduled or not. Oh, we did see Mr. Musk during that speech, and we saw the gesture. I don't know whether the audience here interpreted it the way it was subsequently interpreted on social media. It certainly appears to be a Heil Hitler, but at the time, what he was saying, went back to the transcript, and I remember him saying it, is he was saying, my heart goes out to you. So he was gesturing to his chest, and then, of course, there was the hand straight out, which harkens back, of course, for a lot of folks to the Nazi salute. But we didn't see that reaction here. There wasn't like a gasp or a pause or any even reinforcement of the gesture. So it's a little.
We didn't see them react because they're all Nazis too. My gosh, these people are insufferable. He says, my heart goes out to you. And he does a gesture like he's throwing his heart out to the crowd. My heart goes out to you. And he throws it up. Even the Anti-Defamation League came out and said, this isn't a Nazi salute. Calm down, people. I mean, the context, my heart, and he says my heart with his hand over his chest, goes out to you, and he flings his arm out like he's throwing his heart out. Anything you could say, oh my God, Elon Musk pretended to be throwing his body parts across the crowd. How disgusting. No, they went full Hitler. Never go full Hitler. Y'all, the American Press Corps, there was an old saying about the Bourbons of France. They learned nothing and they forgot nothing. Our American Press Corps has gone straight back to Hitler. We have Nazi sympathizers marching on college campuses, but they're on the left, so the media ignores them. Elon Musk, overwhelmed with emotion, and autistic, socially awkward goober who happens to be a billionaire, says, my heart goes out to you, and acts like he's throwing his heart out at the people. They're like, oh, Hitler, 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 seek hail. It was a hail Hitler. She literally, the PBS were, and by the way, why do my tax dollars subsidize an idiot on PBS thinking he went full hail Hitler? Saying my heart goes out to you, and then proceeds to look like he's throwing his heart out on the crowd. There are plenty of Democrats who have given outstretched arm images captured on tape, and no one in the media says, oh, it looks like they went full Hitler. But because, of course, they're on their side. They would never accuse them of that. Y'all, one of my concerns in present society is, on the left and the right, growing anti-Semitism, growing racism. There were people who claimed to be MAGA yesterday in full meltdown that a rabbi with a benediction at Donald Trump's inaugural celebration. There are MAGA people who were upset that Donald Trump would commemorate the hostages in Israel at his event last night. These people are not really MAGA. They claim to be. They're anti-Semites, and they're on the rise in this country on the left and the right. And because the left calls everyone they disagree with a racist, and everyone they disagree with is a bigot, and everyone they disagree with is a misogynist, and everyone they disagree with is a Nazi, no one is. They call everyone that, and so no one takes it seriously. And so the result is that real Nazi sympathies are on the rise in corners of this country, on the left too. And because the left calls everyone they disagree with a Nazi, nobody takes it seriously. And we're headed towards a very dark place because members of the media cannot help themselves. They are so broken by Donald Trump. They hate him so much, they can't be reasonable. And by the way, this is why, according to Gallup, trust in Congress for the first time ever is higher than trust in the American press corps. And instead of trying to exercise some humility and self-reflection, the idiots in the press corps are doubling down on stupid. They might as well go out of business.
He's got the courage to tell you the actual truth, even when it isn't popular. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
21 in the Cool Ray Carrier WSB 24-hour track center travel advisory. Indicab got this crash taking out 2 left lanes on I-20 eastbound near Wesley Chapel Road. That's exit 68, causing you some delays, but you can get by in those right lanes. This report is sponsored by Vestas. For the people who make it all work, Vestas delivers quality uniforms and workplace supplies for your business needs. Learn more at Vestas.com. I'm Chinwe Maponya, Cook 95.5 WSB.
When the weather is at its worst,
Half an inch to 1 inch of accumulation down towards Griffin and McDonough.
we're at our best.
Wind chill in the single digits.
Check it often for updates on how it will affect you and your commute.
85 northbound, you're stacked in on the wet pavement from 285 heading up toward Pleasant Hill.
Tune in often for the latest.
A light dusting for our northern suburbs.
95.5 WSB, your severe weather station.
This past year has been incredibly tough for me. Hey, it's Belinda. Last year, I lost my dad, and most recently, my mom passed away peacefully at home. Please bear with me. My heart is broken. But I'm so grateful Mom was able to remain in her home until the end, thanks to the outstanding caregivers. I just have to tell you about Four Seasons Home Care. Mom loved the caregivers who took such good care of her. Knowing she was in good hands allowed me to be there as her daughter without the stress of managing everything alone. And I was able to keep up with my own responsibilities as a wife and mom, knowing we had these angels who were there day and night, making sure that Mom had everything she needed and fulfilled her wish to stay at home where she was most comfortable. Hey, if your parents are aging, don't wait to get caregiving help. Call Four Seasons Home Care and start the conversation. It's a free call and it can make all the difference. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
When it comes to your home, quality is crucial. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. Quality comes first. We have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can prove it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Micah Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to Amco.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call locally owned Amco near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
It's Eric. Are you thinking of adding value to your house, or just you want more convenience and more comfort in your kitchen? Frugal Kitchens can get you one of the $1 million home kitchens at a fraction of the cost. They want to talk to you about how you can go through the process, get your new dream kitchen up and going, and you can be cooking in 5 days from the start of construction and get 18 months, no interest financing available. It's what Christy and I have done. Life happens in your kitchen, and Frugal Kitchens can put you in a great one. FrugalKitchens.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ed from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers, less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com.
Excess fees and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
You can be live on Eric's show by calling 877-97-ERIC. That's 877-973-7425.
Welcome. It is Eric Garrison here. So I should tell you there is some controversy Donald Trump went to a national prayer service at the National Cathedral today, and the Episcopalian bishop proceeded to turn the national prayer service into a lecture on Donald Trump about protecting the scared illegal immigrants and transgendered people and members of the LGBTQIA TTPIAQZA7665 exclamation mark gang. I don't know what anyone in the White House expected of Donald Trump. He should have found a Christian prayer service instead of an Episcopalian prayer service. I mean, if I were president of the United States, I wouldn't set foot in an Episcopal church. I'd go find some Christians and hang out with them. You think you're getting neo-paganism from the Episcopalian church these days. I realize there are a few people left in that church who actually believe in the Jesus of the Bible, but the Episcopalian leadership is post-Christian. They're a bunch of secular pagans who use the name of Jesus to browbeat people into progressivism. It's a dying church. I don't mean that other than exactly as it seems that the last Episcopalian has been born in the United States of America. It is the most rapidly dying church in America. Why? Because the moment they decided to reject Christianity, the church started dying, as God has a plan for churches. It's not a coincidence. The United Church of Christ, the Presbyterian Church USA, the Episcopal Church, they are the three most rapidly declining churches in America. Why? Because they decided to reject God in favor of the world. They're now a bunch of pagan denominations filled with a smattering of Christians too lazy to go find a real Christian church. Of course he was going to get lectured by pagans at an Episcopal service. They are pagans. Oh, no, I've insulted all of you. Who cares? All right, you know it. Let's move on. All right, I need to tell you about, yes, AFP, Americans for Prosperity. They, my friends, I'm going to go do an event for them. By the way, I'm not going to be here on Friday because I'm going to go do an event for Americans for Prosperity. They would love to have you on their team. They have chapters in virtually every state. They'd love to be in your state. They'd love to have you with them. AmericansForProsperity.org is their website. They are the largest leading grassroots group in the United States of America, and they educate people about free market and freedom, and they advocate for common sense conservative solutions. They are pushing for a lot of Donald Trump's executive orders successfully and for his tax cuts. I'd love to have you on the team. All you have to do is go to AmericansForProsperity.org. AmericansForProsperity.org. I'm on their action board. You can be with them to join me with AFP.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 1:30. I'm Austin Eller. Our top local story is that winter weather. It's only been 10 days since Metro Atlanta has snow, and we could be in for more this afternoon. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has been following the storm throughout the day. Christina, when could we start seeing snow in the metro?
That's a very good question. I know I initially forecasted a 10 a.m. start. It is taking the atmosphere a little longer for the moisture to return to the metro region. That process is happening right now, so I anticipate the snow flurries to start flowing across the metro region between now and about 3 p.m. Now, accumulation is not going to be the same as what we experienced days ago. Let's be honest about that. But we could see a dusting for our northern suburbs, up to 1 inch of snowfall further south in Griffin and McDonough. Austin.
Thank you, Christina. Christina will have your full forecast here in just a couple minutes. Georgia DOT crews are trying to minimize the impact of the winter weather on roadways. They've put down brine on interstates and major roadways, but DOT Commissioner Russell McMurray says they still need help from the public.
Just be weather aware, make sure that you're seeing what's going on and trying to stay off the roadway so we can do our job.
He says brine trucks will give way to plows working to clear roads once the snow starts falling, but with so many roads to cover, he urges Georgians to pack their patience. While the Atlanta airport is also impacted by the weather today, there have been 235 delays there so far, and almost 190 cancellation security times have also come back down as well. That's after they topped out at about 90 minutes earlier today. It is 1:31. We have live coverage of traffic and weather next.
Our weather can be so unpredictable. Dry for days, and we get pounded with rain and storms from soaking wet to arid dry. Extreme heat to bitter cold, and your roof has to be ready to take all that abuse. So, is your roof ready for our weather extremes? Home Fixer host Dave Baker here for my experts at Finley Roofing. The roof guys. If you're not sure how your roof is holding up, look for signs like wet spots or water streak on the ceiling, drywall, or in the attic. Water is your home's worst enemy. So let Finley catch the problem now before water invades your home. Everything you own and love lives under your roof. Don't keep repairing what you should replace. Think of Finley first. They installed the roof on my home and the homes of over 65,000 of our neighbors. I trust Finley Roofing, and you can too. They're local, part of our community, and they follow the golden rule and treat your home like it's their own. Schedule your free roof analysis at finleyroofing.com. Roof.
Hey, Belinda here, and I have Barry Petrie, Director of Virtual Imaging. Barry has a very interesting testimonial I want him to share with our listeners. Barry, tell us your story.
Belinda, I'm 55. I'm in good shape, work out every day, and took this job about a year ago. Unfortunately, I started having some symptoms about 3 or 4 months ago, so I decided to scan myself. Learned that I had a very high calcium score, and especially most of that was in my LAD, which you know is the widower. Yeah. Long story short, I had my first stent put in about 6 weeks ago, north side, and I feel great. I did not realize that I had lost a gear. I've got that gear back. And I would have been one of those people that probably would have dropped dead looking perfectly healthy at 60 if I had not taken this role and did that scan.
Oh, wow. Folks, that story hits home. What are you waiting for? Go to Virtual Imaging and get a complimentary heart scan with few minimum requirements for you and your spouse. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or visit virtualimagingatl.com.
Cold temps can freeze water in the ground, wreaking havoc on your septic system. Hi, I'm Shan, owner of Scorpion Septic. We can help. My licensed, insured, experienced team responds 24/7 with upfront pricing and high-quality work.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump-out charge with your repair. Details online, scorpionSepticServices.com.
It's 1:34. We've got live team coverage of traffic and weather. Chile joins us from the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
We got some better news in DeKalb. That crash has finally been cleared on I-20 eastbound near Leslie Chapel Road, exit 68, so your delays are significantly improving on the east side. I'm Chinwe Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm 95.5 WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Starting to see some flurries in Roswell and Alpharetta and extending up into Cumming. Should also see some flurries in Gainesville and Claremont. Down south, the snow showers just to the south of Noonan, Senoia, and Hampton, but it is snowing in LaGrange, Woodbury, and Milner and Barnesville. That's eventually going to move its way into the south side of the metro over the course of the next hour or two. Today's high is 32, so anything that falls is going to stick because we're staying frozen for today. Low tonight 15, tomorrow mostly sunny, high 36. Live in the Storm Center, meteorologist Christina Upwards.
It's 30 degrees in Sandy Springs, Decatur, and Midtown. More news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
You're listening to the Eric Erickson Show.
Hello, welcome. It's Eric Erickson here. I need someone from DFAX to go to my producer's home and do a well check. I do believe that his children have done him in. It's elder abuse. Basically, he is so old. He is so old, and it is elder abuse what his children taking a snow day are doing to him, it seems like. I may be slightly older than him, but, I mean, he lived a hard young life. Oh, y'all, so kids in North Georgia are out of school today because it's cold. I don't, it builds character. They're afraid that the snow may head north. This is the problem here in the South is this winter storm that's blowing through. They don't know just how far north the snow is going to go, but they know it's going to happen if it happens before school is out today. So they shut down all the schools in North Georgia. And parents are stuck home being terrorized by their children today. My son got out at noon today, where we are, and I don't think he's going to be able to go to school tomorrow because the snow is really going to hit here after 4 o'clock today. It's not going to get back above freezing by tomorrow. In fact, I'm probably going to wind up taking my radio equipment out of my studio home with me and do my show from home tomorrow because I don't think the roads are going to be passable. It's just kind of a wild setup. In any event, welcome back. It is Eric Erickson here across the nation. The phone number is 877-973-7425. I want to talk about this 24 hours of Donald Trump. And whether you wish him well or not, whether you hope for the best or not, whether you think it's going to be a disaster, whether you like him or not, I find it wild. Like, for example, let me read you a tweet from someone. Diana in Winter, time traveler from California, she calls herself on Twitter. Books, art, photography, nature, history, ancestry, research, screenwriting, a slice of California living. That's how she describes herself. And she says, are you comfortable with Trump not putting his hand on the Bible during his oath? Or concerned with Elon Musk's arm salute? I think conservatives like you are going to be twisting themselves into pretzels, trying to explain these behaviors. We deserve better. No, you don't deserve better, Diana. I'm sorry. The voters of America voted for him. In fact, he won the popular vote. First time the Republicans done that since 2004. You don't deserve better. You get exactly what you deserve. Exactly what the people voted for. No, I'm not, by the way, concerned with Donald Trump not putting his hand on the Bible. I was until I paid attention to the video. The fact that people are whipping into a frenzy over Donald Trump not laying his hand on the Bible, go watch the tape and let me give you the backstory. The oath of office for President of the United States, historically going back to George Washington, happens at noon. On Friday, Donald Trump announced that the inauguration would be moved inside. Maybe it was Thursday. Announced because of weather, the inauguration would be moved inside the Capitol. They had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to scramble to get it done. On Monday, they were running behind. If you bother to pay attention to the timing, John Roberts was rushing Donald Trump to make sure that the oath happened as close to noon as possible, because in the American political tradition, at noon, the presidency changes hands. Whether Donald Trump is sworn in or not, the presidency changes hands at noon on Inauguration Day. And given the peaceful transfer of power and all of that, the Chief Justice has an obligation to get the president sworn in as quickly as possible at noon. And if you pay attention to the video at all, it's very clear that they're rushing to get this done. He gets Trump up there and immediately starts swearing him in before he even has time to think, oh gosh, I got to put my hand on the Bible. No, I didn't think it was a big deal at all. I really did not think it was a big deal. This was a rush. He clearly wasn't thinking. He wasn't asked to lay your hand on the Bible, whatever he was. No one had time telling. They get up there and Roberts immediately goes into the oath because it needs to happen as close to noon as possible for the transition of power. You understand this, right? This is a quirk of the American constitutional tradition, that the transfer of power happens at noon, but Donald Trump can't exercise the power until he's been sworn in. So the nuclear football has literally changed seats. Like literally, the nuclear football has shifted position to Donald Trump at exactly noon, and he's not sworn in as president yet. Can't exercise powers. He's got John Roberts is rushing. Get it done. And Trump rushes, and so he didn't get his hand on. No, I'm not worked up about that. Elon Musk in his salute. No, I've already explained that. He said, my heart goes out to you. And he throws it out like he's pulling his heart out of his chest and throwing it. That's what happened. If you don't believe it, stop listening to MSNBC. Stop listening to PS. Go watch it and put it in proper context yourself. And don't default to these are Nazis, which is the problem. Too many people are defaulting to they're Nazis. And so they see what they look as a salute and they ignore that. My heart goes out to you. And he squeezes over his chest like he's put his heart out and throws it. That's what was happening. He's a socially awkward billionaire goober with autism. You know what? I'm not going to tie myself in pretzels. And this is the weird thing: is as it grows, the following grows, the show grows, people grow. The Trump supporters get mad at me because I criticize Donald Trump. The people who hate Donald Trump get mad at me because they think I'm some sort of MAGA loyalist. I assure you, I am not a MAGA loyalist. I tell you exactly what I think. Whether Trump likes it or not, I couldn't care less. And here's the thing. I want everyone, whether you like me, like my show or not, to at least appreciate this. For the last 8 months in a row, in the largest talk radio market in the country, I've been the #1 show in the demo, 25 to 54. And I have not had a single Trump surrogate on my radio show to advocate for his reelection. I have criticized him where I thought it was appropriate. I have praised him where I thought it was appropriate. I got to be #1 not riding Donald Trump's coattails. I did not have to have him come on my show and get airtime, boost my ratings. I did not have to bring on a surrogate to it. I did it myself with you, my audience, in conversation with you. I am beholden to Donald Trump as others might be. In 2016, I was the only major conservative radio show host in America to oppose Donald Trump's election. I didn't like him, thought he had terrible character, and thought he was going to get in office and be a big lib. I was wrong. I'm glad I was wrong. I didn't lose my job because I had not ridden anybody's coattails. I told you what I thought. In fact, I am the only person in radio today as a conservative who in 2016 did not support Donald Trump. Everybody else lost their job except me. Why? Because of my audience loyalty, because you know that I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm going to tell you, I think, whether you agree with it or not. I'm going to be a straight shooter with you, and I'm conservative, and I'm a Christian. The number of people who somehow think I owe my career to Donald Trump haven't been paying attention. The number of Trump supporters who think I despise the man. He's not my cup of tea, but I don't despise him. He does a lot of things I like, but you're not allowed to have this nuance anymore in this country. And here's why some of you who are Trump supporters are going to be really hacked off with the man for the next 4 years, because he owes you nothing now. Donald Trump doesn't owe you anything. The history of American presidents is that in the second term, presidents start thinking of their legacy. And in the process of thinking about their legacy, the presidents of the United States often make deals, cut compromises, and do things that their base doesn't like, but the majority of Americans do. Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, they all cut deals in their second term, Bill Clinton, they wouldn't have done in their first term because they owe you nothing now. It's like term-limited members of Congress, or who are not term-limited, but they've decided they're going to run again. They suddenly become wild cards in the Senate and the House. They suddenly vote differently because they know there's no accountability from the voters ever again. I realize that there is this purse fiction on the left that Trump is going to try to run for office again, that Donald Trump is going to try to hold on to power. It's your level of brokenness and mental defect that has you believing that. Donald Trump's not. For you to believe that is to believe that Donald Trump is stronger than the Constitution, and Donald Trump is not stronger than the Constitution. The Constitution is far stronger than any one man, including Donald Trump. He will go in 4 years, and in 2 years he'll be a lame duck, because in 2 years his political party will start looking for someone else who lead it, and Donald Trump will begin to fade as J.D. Vance or someone else rises. For the next 2 years, Donald Trump's got a lot to accomplish, and Donald Trump is very, very loyal to his base, and he wants to keep his base happy. But also, Donald Trump wants a legacy. Donald Trump does want to be liked, and Donald Trump does want to reposition America. And Donald Trump does want to finish this political realignment that's been happening in the country. And what I think you're going to find over the next 4 years is that some of you who are very loyal to Donald Trump are going to find you outside the majority of his coalition. And some of you outside the coalition are going to find yourself inside the coalition as things finalize within the political realignment of the American socio-political and economic structure. Trump owes you nothing now. For those of you who are loyal supporters, he's going to give you as much as he can as payback and reward for bringing him back to office. But he owes you nothing at this point. He's term limited. He can do whatever he wants. George W. Bush, his second term, decided to put Harriet Miers on the Supreme Court. He owed the base nothing. They got him elected again. He kept his promises to them the first term. He kept kept promises in the second term. He wanted Harry Myers. The base had to go to war with him. Immigration reform. The base went to war with him. Social Security reform. The base did not go to war with him. The establishment went to war with him. Ronald Reagan cutting immigration deals, tax reform packages in his second term that he would never have done in his first term. Bill Clinton cutting deals with Republicans after 1996. Barack Obama with Republicans on sequestration and other budgetary matters in his second term. This is not going to be the first term of Donald Trump, and the biggest reason it's not going to be the repeat of the first term is because Trump's been there before. He knows what to do now. He can move quicker, and I can tell you from talking to people close to Donald Trump, he understands he has 2 years. His term is 4 years, but he's only got 2. Because then Republicans start worrying about the midterm elections. And after the midterms, maybe Republicans don't keep Congress. Maybe they don't keep the House. Maybe they keep the Senate. But then those next 2 years are obsession about an open seat in 2028 for the presidency. And Donald Trump begins to fade from that conversation. Through it all, I'll tell you exactly what I think, whether I like it or not. Like, I don't like what he did with TikTok. I think I think TikTok is a Chinese spy site that is trying to indoctrinate our children to hate this country, and he should let it die. By the way, Apple has announced it's going to enforce the law. If you own TikTok, if it's on your phone right now, you can still use it, but you can't get an update to it. You can't do any updates, and you can't download it now. That's what the law says. Trump's going to be a disruptor. Whether you like him or not, some of you who don't, if you're intellectually honest, may find he does things you now like. If you're intellectually honest and you're a supporter, you may find he does things now that you dislike. I'll tell you the whole way through, whether I like it or not, I do not owe my career to him. I am not beholden to him, and I'm certainly not beholden to MAGA. Many of them think that I'm just a Trump hater. I just happen to be a conservative. I haven't changed. I can't think of hardly a single issue on planet Earth that I have changed on in the last 10 years. Very few things. The lines have moved. I haven't moved. But I'll tell you what I think. And when he does something good, I'll praise it. When he does something I don't like, I'll criticize it. And when he does things that whip people on the left to existential frenzy and terror, and I think, why bother? Well, I'll tell people on the left, calm down, you're being hysterical. And too many of them are behaving like little emotional children right now. He just won an election. He just got sworn in. Give him time. Being outraged from the moment he gets elected until the time that he leaves is bad for health, and also it's not very intellectually honest. Let me tell you about the Eden Pure Gen 4 heater. I don't have it on, but I'm about to. My legs are getting cold. It is a heater that can help you save money on your heating bills. In fact, I've got one at home, too, and I used it last night in my garage. The garage was closed, but I wanted to make sure that the pipes didn't freeze to be so cold last night, so I got my Eden Pure Gen 40 heater in there, and it kept the garage reasonably comfortable, and it uses infrared heating. It uses convection heating. It oscillates, it tilts up and down, and turns side to side. It can heat a room using 2 forms of heating technology, and it can help you save on your heating bills. By the way, it's also on sale, and you get $50 off if you go to EdenPureDeals.com and use discount code ERIC50, ERIC50. Go to EdenPureDeals.com, put in ERIC50, the discount code on the front page of the website. It'll take you through the portal to the Eden Pure Gen 40 heater. It uses infrared. It uses convection. In the summer, by the way, you can turn off the heat and use it as a floor fan just to circulate the air. And it still does the tilting up and down and turning side to side, which is the fan on. It circulates air very efficiently to cool you down in the summer and keep you warm in the winter. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ERIC50, no space, ERIC50 at EdenPureDeals.com.
You can follow Eric around on social media at EW Erickson on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And check him out at EWErickson.com.
151 in the Cool Ray Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center. New trouble on the south side near the airport. We got a crash taking out 2 left lanes. It's a travel advisory on I-285 eastbound. The outer loop just past I-75 causing you some delays. The support is sponsored by Clue at the Fox Theater. Clue, the ultimate whodunit based on the classic board game, plays the Fox Theater January 28th through February 2nd. Get ticket Broadway in Atlanta.com. Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB Radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That's amazing.
The WSB 5-day bonus blitz.
5 words times a day, every
This is
weekday.
Dawn Brazelton, and I just won $1,000 from WSB.
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 2
The WSB 5K Day Bonus Blitz.
on 95.5 WSB.
There's a new optimism in the air, and we think investors like you might have the best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. We believe this is going to be a special year and a great year. We've got the projects. Now we partners like you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify the SEC credit investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it's unlawful.
Belinda here for Atlanta Vision Institute. I'm here to introduce you to a new procedure that Dr. Ashraf is performing called laser optics. This changed my life, folks. I was so tired of wearing contacts and glasses. The glasses were not around when I needed them. I had astigmatism, so the contacts didn't fit me well, and I had beginning stages of cataracts. So when I was a great candidate for laser optics, it was a quick, painless procedure. The next day, it was like everything was in HD. The colors were more vibrant. The leaves were more vibrant. The sky was more vibrant. My husband was better looking. Everything was great. Laser optics with Dr. Ashraf, Atlanta Vision Institute. Go to the website 2020atlanta.com to find out more information. Also, take the quiz to see if this is a procedure that's good for you. Your medical insurance may cover it. That's 2020atlanta.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSBV FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmer go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Alliance and support Georgia farmers.
Christina Edwards here. If your home is like mine, it is built on our famous Georgia red clay, which absorbs moisture and is very slow to dry out. It can cause a drainage issue in your crawl space, potentially growing mold and producing that musty smell. But call my friends at American Crawl Space Solutions. They will walk you through the issue and only suggest the repairs you need to solve the problem. Visit AmericanCrawlSpaceSolutions.com to schedule your free in-home consultation.
American Crawl Space Solutions. Foundations too.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The talking points. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Welcome back. It's Erickson here. So, okay, so this is a great case in point for everybody here. I don't want to pick on Lady, but she's listening right now. She goes by Wacky Woman 50 on Twitter. Listening to your radio show. Yep, I think you're too hard on Trump. God does not expect us to be perfect. Have you ever understood grace? Also, everyone needs forgiveness, even you. Sometimes pious people judge others, which is sin. My goodness gracious. So today I started my show defending Donald Trump for exercising his pardons after people were convicted and sent to prison, not before like Joe Biden. defended Donald Trump against the allegations that he is a Stalinist, defended Elon Musk for throwing his heart to the crowd, defended Donald Trump for his executive orders on immigration, that he was loving his neighbor by putting American citizens ahead of illegal immigrants, and yet, I'm being too hard on Donald Trump, and don't I know where you see. And I found, by the way, it's got to be over 60 because it's always the older people who get the most upset and start lecturing me on judging others, completely, by the way, taken out of context. The statement from the Bible. You see, you can't win with some people. I've literally today, the only thing I've criticized Donald Trump about is TikTok. I've defended him on everything else, and yet I judge Donald Trump too harshly. Unless I'm willing to actually put a picture of Donald Trump on my computer screen and do indecent things on camera to myself, staring at his picture, these people are going to convince that I'm just too mean to Donald Trump. You can't win with some people, and I've kind of learned that over time. And all I want to do is tell you the truth as best I can get to it. I'm not propagandize you. I'm not going to hump a politician's leg for you. I'm not going to debase myself as so many people have. Look at the Democrats. I don't want to behave like the Democrats. For 4 years, the Democrats lied to us, said everything Biden did was hunky-dory and fine, that he was normal, and on his way out the door, he does these despicable pardons, and they can't bring themselves to criticize him. You know, if you never criticize your own side eventually goes off the cliff because no one stood up from within the tribe and said, hey, this is wrong, we shouldn't do it. And fewer people ever want to do that because the mob comes for and tells them, shut up, you need to get back on his leg. You got to get back to humping his leg. You can't hold him accountable. Don't you say anything. Don't you dare question it. He's the grandmaster strategist. Don't judge him. And the next thing you know, you get wiped out and the people turn on you because no one wanted to hold their own side accountable. If you don't hold your own side accountable, the voters will hold your side accountable. All my job is to keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the world and tell you what it is. If that upsets you, maybe you need to go listen to somebody else because I'm not going to change. It's worked real good for me. I'll praise him when I need to praise him. And I got a lot to praise him about when we come back with these immigration orders. My goodness, the left is melting down over him.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Kayachio with our top local story. Governor Kemp says Georgia is ready for this latest round of winter weather.
Thankfully, we have a battle-tested team, not only here, but also our utility partners are as well, and we certainly saw that in Hurricane Helene.
He warns conditions could deteriorate very quickly. From the governor to the Georgia DOT, state officials are warning people to stay off the roads. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards joins us live now from the Storm Center with the latest forecast.
And the heaviest snow is going to be in Columbus, Macon, Savannah. So they are concentrating a lot of these State Department resources to middle Georgia. Here in Metro Atlanta, I am anticipating the snow to be falling. What's happening is that the snow is falling but evaporating before it makes it to the ground, but eventually it's going to make it all the way down. So we're looking at a dusting for the northern suburbs. Here in Midtown Atlanta, looking at a dusting of snowfall as well, but up to 1 inch of snow possible for the southern communities, including Noonan, Sonoya, and into the McDonough region. Bill?
At least one person has died in Georgia as a result of freezing temperatures across the state. The head of the Georgia Emergency Management agency said that person died of hypothermia. There are ways to stay safe and warm during this winter weather.
While the low temperatures and the threat of snow is concerned, GEMA Director Chris Stalling says the storm shouldn't cause you to panic.
This is not a run on grocery stores. It's not a go buy all the bread, milk, and eggs that you can get your hands on event. This is going to be with us for 36, 48 hours.
He says you're likely going to be fine with the food you already have at your home, but now's the time to charge phones, get out blankets, and if you have generators, make sure you know how to use them. At GEMA headquarters, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Delays and cancellations on the rise at the world's busiest airports. So far, more than 230 flights are delayed at Hartsfield-Jackson. Over 190 cancellations so far, according to FlightAware. Wait times at security checkpoints have fallen dramatically this afternoon. This rare southern snowstorm is bringing snow, sleet, and ice across the Gulf Coast to the Carolinas. CBS's Katie Weiss is in New Orleans.
Down here on the Gulf Coast, this is a memorable event. It's something you don't forget. Do you remember that time it snowed 20 years ago? That was crazy, wasn't it? And that's how this is going to certainly turn out for folks. This is going to be a day that many people will surely never forget.
It is now 2:02, and up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Lots of potentially serious health problems. If you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a long life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Income for a lifetime for you and your family after you've left the workforce. Many retirees harness the power of income investing to give themselves peace of mind and create a consistent income stream from their retirement savings. Income investing uses many different forms of cash flow, including rent, royalty, dividends, distributions, and interest. This is what we focus on here at Capital Investment Advisors. You can find us at yourwealth.com. That's yourwealth.com.
It's Eric. I don't know about y'all, but life happens in the kitchen. It's where we have our memories, our family time, our laughs. Well, you don't want a lot of downtime, but you may want to renovate your kitchen. You want one of those $1 million kitchen looks and get it at the fraction of the cost with Frugal Kitchens. They know that you've got plans for your kitchen, and they want to help you. And here's why I love them. They can have you cook in 5 days from the start of construction and get you 18 months no-interest financing. FrugalKitchens.com. That's where you want to check them out. FrugalKitchens.com.
New year, new you, and a new level of organization awaits at Artisan Custom Closets. Tired of unorganized chaos in your closet? Let the local Artisan team transform any space in your home into an organized, efficient area. From a free consultation in your home to custom 3D designs that lay out your options and an installation process that takes no more than a day, Artisan Custom Closet makes it easy to create calm. Speak with a designer and schedule your free in-home consultation now at artisancustomclosets.com.
Fight for live coverage of traffic and weather, and Chinwei is in the 24-hour traffic center.
Over on the south side, Clayton County, we still got this crash, but now it's only taking out the left lane on I-285 eastbound, the outer loop just past I-75. So cars are zooming by in the 2 right lanes, and your delays are improving slightly. I'm Chinwei Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
And I'm 95.5 WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Starting to receive snow reports in the Griffin area, that's Spalding County. Also receiving some reports in the Covington and Monroe areas. Otherwise, snow showers, and some will be light at times through the course of this afternoon and this evening. Looking at a dusting of accumulation for the northern suburbs, a dusting here in Midtown, up to 1 inch of snowfall possible before Noonan into Griffin and McDonough. For today, the afternoon high is 32, low tonight 15. Tomorrow's high is 36. So quite frankly, I'm more concerned about nearly 48 continuous hours of temperatures below freezing. Live in the Storm Center, meteorologist Christina Edwards.
And right now it's 28 in Smyrna, 30 in Tucker, and 28 in College Park. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm El Cayachio, 95.5 WSB.
It's WSB 5K a day bonus bliss. This hour's keyword is bonus. BONUS. Go to WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash for your chance to win. Again, that keyword is bonus. BONUS. Join me live at 3 for the Von Haessler Doctrine, and I'll have your next keyword and chance to win at 5.
Hello, America. Welcome. It's Eric Erickson here across America from a winter wonderland shaping up in the south. It is snowing outside my office window now. Here in Middle Georgia, the south just getting hit with a major winter storm from Houston, Texas, all the way over into the Carolinas. Savannah, Georgia, on the coast, expected to get 10 inches of snow. My kids just got notified their school is shut down tomorrow. They were made to go home at noon today. Before the snow, I sent my office home about 1 o'clock, right before the snow hit. We'll see if I can get home today. I'll probably do my show from home tomorrow, assuming I can make it there. The phone number, if you want to be on the program, 877-973-7425. I got to begin this hour with the other executive orders. There are lots of executive orders. There were over 200 executive orders signed by Donald Trump. This is perhaps one of the biggest that he signed. This is President Trump from the White House last night.
Sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency with the southern border of the United States.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh? You know what that means, you know?
President Trump, did President Biden leave you a letter?
He may have.
So, by the way, I got to continue this one because this became a funny moment with Peter Doocy, where, you know, it's a tradition that was begun by George H.W. Bush for Bill Clinton. George H.W. Bush left a letter for Bill Clinton that essentially said, you're the president now, I wish you the best, you're my president too. And each president thereafter had left a letter. I don't know that Trump left one for Biden. I know Obama left one for Trump. But Peter Doocy asked Trump about that last night.
President Trump, did President Biden leave a letter?
He may have. Don't they leave it in the desk? I don't know. Oh.
What's in there?
Thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we got it. Wow. Thank you.
What did we say on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make that determination. Peter, thank you very much. I may not have done this for months.
Happy to help with the passing of the torch.
I did. I left him one at the desk just like this.
What are you talking about?
Unification of our country. You know, I didn't know that he gave a pardon to his family because he did it during my speech.
He didn't tell you in the letter?
No, he didn't tell me. No. He did it. They released it during my speech. During my speech. So all I could do was say, excuse me, I'd like to come back and speak some more. So, no, we're surprised by that.
By the way, the letter was not addressed to Donald or to Mr. Trump or to Mr. President. It just says on the outside 47. You can see that. We don't know what it says. Yeah, I haven't seen. Maybe by now people know. I haven't seen the headlines today to know. But that happened in the process of Donald Trump signing an executive order declaring a state of emergency at our border. But he also did something else related to that. He declared the Mexican drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations. I have called for this for 8 years. Towards the end of the Trump administration, the first time, he was headed in that direction. But with COVID happening and everything else, they never got around to it. And I pushed hard. Friends of mine pushed hard and made the legal case. And what's happened over the last number of years is, honestly, I want to give credit to the folks at the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Texas Public Policy Foundation, most of you, if you're not in Texas, you're not familiar with, I think it probably is the best state-level think tank. So there's something called the State Policy Network on the right, where almost every state has a think tank about how to advance conservative policy in that state. Some states have more than one. I think one of the very best in the country is called Texas Public Policy Foundation. Kevin Roberts at the Heritage Foundation, I've been very critical of late with some of the things Heritage did, but I very much like and respect Kevin Roberts. He was at Texas Public Policy Foundation. Brooke Roberts was as well. It has been essentially a farm team for Trump and other Republicans in Washington. They have brilliant minds at the Texas Public Policy Foundation, and they began to lay the groundwork for what Donald Trump did last night. And I'm going to give them credit. They deserve the credit because I know the vast amount of work PPPF has done in the last number of years to make the legal case for designating the Mexican drug cartels a foreign terrorist organization, and also for using the military to secure the federal border, to secure the southern border. Let me explain to you the case for using the military, because there are a lot of people left today completely melted down over the fact Donald Trump is sending the military to the southern border. The Constitution of the United States of America guarantees that every state will have a Republican form of government. And that form of government, you could in theory have a governor and a prime minister in a state. No state has set it up that way. Every state is set up largely the same way. Nebraska has a unicameral legislature, but most other state, pretty much every other state, has a Senate and a House and a governor. You could have a governor who's largely a figurehead with a prime minister and a parliament. You can do that and guarantee a Republican form of government. But in the same section of the Constitution where the states will have a Republican government and the Congress shall ensure it, the Congress and the federal government will also ensure that those Republican governments of the states are secure from foreign invasion. The states in the Union are set up to be individual republics who have ceded limited control and power to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is not a plenary government. Washington, D.C. is not a government of unlimited power. The states are. Washington has limited power, but one of the powers in Washington, D.C. is to preserve and protect the states from foreign invasion. Our states are being invaded by foreign adversaries in the form of drug cartels from Mexico who are violent, who shoot at police, who shoot at law enforcement, who endanger the lives of American citizens. And all of this, the Biden administration turned a blind eye towards. The Texas Public Policy Foundation, based on this provision of the Constitution, made the little argument that, yes, the states have a right to defend itself. Texas has a right to secure its border in the absence of help from Washington. Washington's a legal obligation under the Constitution to protect and defend the United States of America and the individual states from foreign invasion. And Donald Trump agrees. And he should be praised for that. Donald Trump understands that the Mexican military doesn't have the wherewithal to invade us. No country has the wherewithal to invade us. But, when we launched our Revolutionary War against Great Britain, they were the best trained military on planet Earth. And Washington and his soldiers, in many ways, used guerrilla campaigns against them. And the Mexican drug cartels are doing that against us. They're right up the border. They're coming over in the night. You know what they do is they use the coyotes, the human traffickers, to send a pile of people into the country where they know that the border Border Patrol is going to be. And as those people are coming across the border, they've paid the coyotes to get into the country. They've been set up by the coyotes to show up where the Border Patrol is. The Border Patrol gets overwhelmed with the sea of humanity that's coming in, and then the drug cartels and the drug runners through a different route where now the Border Patrol is not, because they're where the crowd is, get the drugs into the country. The Chinese are making the drugs, working with the drug cartels, poisoning our kids, poisoning our husbands and wives, our fathers, our mothers, our children, our brothers, our sisters. And Washington seems to not give one whit about it. J.D. Vance understands the tragedy drugs can have in a community and a family, and how they can collapse a family. He's lived that life. He knows the scourge of drugs. Donald Trump's older brother, Fred, was an alcoholic. Trump's a teetotaler. Trump does not drink. He had before, he preferred it if kids didn't, but they do. He's seen firsthand addiction hurt a family. He knows the effects of addiction. And he's decided finally to take seriously the drug cartels. Mexico is a failed narco state, by the way. Because Donald Trump recognizes this, the American press corps doesn't want to acknowledge it, but Mexico is a failed state. The president of Mexico is believed to be in the pocket of the drug cartels. There's vast amounts of corruption in Mexico. There are parts of Mexico no one can go to because the drug cartels control it. Increasingly in Cancun and other places, Americans aren't safe. I have a friend whose cousin was kidnapped by the drug cartels, fed fentanyl, and abused until she managed to, God bless her, escape. I know people who have run afoul of the drug cartels. I know someone's relatives were murdered because they strayed too far out of civilization into Mexico, going and exploring. It wasn't safe. Mexico is a failed state. It is a third world kleptocracy run by drug lords with politicians in their pocket. And Donald Trump is right to declare the drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations. They terrorize the people of Mexico, they terrorize the tourists of Mexico, and they terrorize American citizens here in the United States. Trinidad or whatever it is, I can't pronounce the name of it. The Venezuelan gang. One day I'll learn how to pronounce it, but you know the one I'm talking about. They're run out of the prisons of Venezuela. Venezuela allowed those gang members to come into the United States and set up shop intentionally by design. The Venezuelan regime did this. Designating them a foreign terrorist organization allows extra resources to be deployed to root them out and get them out of the country. In some places, that gang from Venezuela runs assassination rings. The thing that sets this Venezuelan gang apart from MS-13, which is a violent gang itself, is that the Venezuelan gang targets the family members of law enforcement. So you, the law enforcement officer trying to arrest the gang members, understand they're going to target your kids. They're terrorists. They should be treated as such. And for 4 years, the Biden administration made excuses for Mexico, denied there was a problem, and refused to do anything about the gangs. Donald Trump has decided to come in and put Americans first with an American first policy, and that includes taking on the gangs that are spraying fentanyl and other poisons into the communities of America, degrading our communities and breaking them down. He should be praised for that. You know we got instead? Condemnation from the media for having the audacity to treat terrorists as terrorists. It was a bold move by Donald Trump. It was a big move by Donald Trump. I have nothing but praise for Donald Trump doing that. It was the right move. I'm proud of TPF for advancing the ball so far that it gained enough traction to nationally be taken up by Donald Trump. And I'm very proud of Donald Trump for having the guts to do what neither Obama nor Biden had the courage to do. It's the right thing to do. These groups are terrorists, and we should use any means necessary to root them out and destroy them.
Well connected and well respected. It's Erick Erickson live every weekday.
220 in the Cool Ray Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center. Better news in Clayton County. That crash has been cleared on I-20 eastbound, the outer loop just past I-75, so there's no delays on the south side at this time. This report is sponsored by Georgia Aquarium. Georgia Aquarium's brand new Pass unlocks a year of free visits. Just pay for a single day, then come back as many times as you want to see everything you want. Get your Aqua Pass at georgiaaquarium.org. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
It's the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. This hour's keyword is bonus. BONUS. Go to the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash for your chance to win. Again, that keyword is bonus. BONUS. Join me live at 3 with the Von Hassler Doctrine, and I'll have your next keyword and chance to win at 5. Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready with a busy life? Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling your old one. Hey, it's Eric Von Hassler, and it's simple. Orchard gives you an equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right. You don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away. No more rushing out for showings or constant cleaning because Orchard sells your old home after you've settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvements and no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money, so you sell for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles with Orchard. Start your free home valuation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
Men, if you're suffering from ED or PE, Priority Men's Medical Center will get your love life back in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your love life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To regain your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And I'm just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, insurance license number 163546.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Want to be on the show? Come on, be on the show. Call Eric now at 877-973-7425.
Welcome back. It's here. Let's go to the phones here. Jim's been waiting patiently. Welcome to the show, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Well, listening to the media over the years overreact to Trump is like listening to the squatter I just evicted. Everything is other people's fault. Every lie is just incredibly preposterous. Should have heard it in the mediated court hearing on the eviction when he started to, you wouldn't let me pay. I offered to drive your home. What I told him was, no, don't drive 65 miles to my home. Just send it over the Cash App like you usually do, or PayPal. And he twists it around. So it's, you just sit there, you just kind of stare at him blankly like, did you really make up that fib? And it's just bald-faced.
Yeah, look, it's one of the things about like the rise of modern conspiracy, Jim, that I try to explain to people is that so much of the reason for the rise of conspiracy theories is you're taking a complicated world and you're trying to get it very simple, or you're taking something very simple and you have to make it complicated. And one of the underlying ties that bind them is people who can't accept the consequences of their own actions. They've got to find, it's the hidden hand. If you screw up your life, if you fail at life, if you make bad decisions, you don't want to acknowledge your personal responsibility, so it's got to be somebody else. And for the left, they believe that any election which denies them power is an illegitimate election. And they got to blame Donald Trump, but they don't believe Donald Trump is smart enough to deny them the election. Therefore, it's got to be the hidden hand. It's got to be Elon Musk. It's got to be the Russians. It's got to be something, because they can't acknowledge they've been outfoxed by Donald Trump. Even though they have. We're going to have 4 years of whining from these people. Everything Donald Trump does, they're going to whine about it. And look, there are things he's going to do, and y'all know I'm going to not like them, and I'm going to tell you I like them. But what I just find wild is people who, they like something until Donald Trump likes it too, and then suddenly they have to hate it because he likes it. Like Jen Rubin, who left the Washington Post for parts unknown, was famously a champion of moving the embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And the moment Donald Trump did, she's like, this is terrible. He's going to start a war. Why would he do such a thing? And she was like, well, if Donald Trump did it, I have to reassess my prayers, and maybe I was wrong because he's incapable of doing anything right. That was kind of her. That's like, no, you're just insane. You're an insane, crazy, angry person, and life is too short to be constantly crazy and angry about stuff, particularly stuff you can't control. But, man, people turn politics into a religion, and they got to worship at one altar or the other. Now, let me tell you about Hill, which actually, by the way, so y'all should take the Genesis class from Hillsdale, of idol worship and stuff. It's actually very good. It explores the literary themes and the theology of Genesis. If you go to ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com, you can sign up. It's completely free of charge. It's 6 classes. They're like 30-minute lectures from a quality Hillsdale professor. They're engaging. They're interesting. They do a great job on not just the literary traditions of Genesis, but the theology behind Genesis, wrap it into an echo of what's to come, and foreshadowing of what's coming, not an echo of what's coming. It's really well done. They've got one on the Constitution. They got one on C.S. Lewis. They got about 40 of them. You can take them at their own page. Take all of them. They're great. There is no charge from Hillsdale College for no. All you need to do is go to Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up today with Hillsdale College. Improve your mind and understand what sets Hillsdale apart.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. Governor Kemp says things could go downhill fast as Metro Atlanta faces a winter weather threat this afternoon. Let's get the latest forecast now from WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards live in the Storm Center.
And Bill, the snow is now flying across the metro region. I'm starting to receive the snow reports from all across Coweta County, Henry County, and even here in Midtown in Fulton County, with snow flurries flying. Now, with regards to accumulation, we're looking at a dusting to up to a quarter of an inch for areas north of 285 and 20. It's the south side, including Noonan, Griffin, and McDonough, where up to half an inch to 1 inch is possible through late tonight. Bill.
All right, in Middle and South Georgia are bracing for a rare snowstorm. Georgia DOT Commissioner Russell McMurray warns people to stay off the roads.
Start to accumulate quite quickly, and road conditions could deteriorate pretty rapidly this afternoon as it moves in.
Some areas in Central and South Georgia could get 5 inches of snow. There are some things you can do now to prepare for the storm.
Also preparing your phones. Go ahead and charge those devices should you have a power outage. It's also important that you're thinking about a plan. Should you lose power, how are you going to warm? So go ahead and get blankets out.
GMA Director Chris Dalling says there is no need to make a run the grocery store. He says this should only be with us for 36 or 48 hours. Winter weather here and in other parts of the country is causing major issues at airports. At Hartsfield-Jackson Airport at this hour, more than 240 flights are delayed and nearly 200 are now canceled. It is 2:32, and up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Belinda Skelton here with Dr. Ashraf with the Atlanta Vision Institute, and I'm a proud recipient of the laser optics procedure because it literally changed my life. I went from wearing glasses and contacts and not being able to see leaves on trees clearly, being tired when I read book at night, tired when I worked on the computer for long hours at a time. And I know that you hear a lot of this, Dr. Ashraf.
Yes, Belinda, I hear all these accolades all the time from patients. It is truly a life-changing procedure. This will not give you x-ray vision. However, if you want to get rid of the hassle of glasses and contacts and want to improve the quality of your life, this is a great procedure for you.
Go to 2020atlanta.com to find out more information. Take the quiz. See if this procedure is a good option for you. That website again is 2020atlanta.com. Your medical insurance may cover it.
Hi, I'm David Nicholas, financial advisor and president of Nicholas Wealth Management. It's hard to imagine, but one day in retirement, your income will stop. You may have been working for 30 or 40 years, but now you'll have to depend on the money you've saved for the next 30 years. How do you know if you've saved enough? What does it mean to spend confidently in retirement? One of the worst things that you can do is get to retirement and not know how much income your investment can produce. At Nicholas Wealth, we created a plan that will show you what your investments can potentially generate in dividends, interest, and growth in retirement. We call this our Spend Confidently plan. When's the best time to turn on Social Security? What are some of the best dividend-paying stocks available? Our CPAs and CFPs will show you what your income number is and how a diversified portfolio of income-producing investments could potentially provide you consistent monthly income. A Retire Ready Income Report, it's a $1,000 value. We'll provide it completely complimentary if you've saved more than $50,000 for retirement and you give us a call in the next 10 minutes. Number to call is 404-890-5606. That's 404-890-5606, or you go to nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or financial situation and the needs of any person. This is a paid advertisement.
234 Chinway is in the traffic center.
Hello. Right now, watching for trouble on the downtown connector. Looks like a crash I-75-85 southbound just past Edgewood Avenue. That's exit 248. Trying to get you some more details on that. In the meantime, though, the rest of your ride on the connector is smooth. I-75-85 northbound from Langford Parkway all the way up to 17th Street, exit 251. About 13 minutes for your trip time. I'm Chinway Malonia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm 95.5 WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. The snow flurries are now flying all across metro Atlanta, but the accumulation is going to be limited mainly to along and south of I-20 for this evening. Today's high is 32, so staying frozen all through the course this afternoon. Low tonight will be in the mid-teens. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 36. Thursday, partly cloudy, more low 22, afternoon high 41. Live at Storm Center meteorologist Christina Edwards.
24 in Powder Springs. It is 29 in Johns Creek, 28 Fayetteville. More new 3 o'clock breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Gaiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Is what matters. You're listening to The Eric Erickson Show.
Hello and welcome back. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number, 877-973-7425. There's some breaking news. Danielle Hegseth is the former sister-in-law of Pete Hegseth, has released a sworn affidavit claiming that his second wife, her sister, feared for her safety. Interestingly, very interestingly, she added that part of her reason for coming forward is because I have been assured that making this public statement will ensure that certain senators who are still on the fence will vote against Hegseth's nomination. We need to process this. Danielle Hegseth, former sister-in-law of Pete Hegseth, and I don't know why Danielle Hegseth has the same last name. Was it it's Danielle Hegseth. Submitted an affidavit in response to a January 18th letter from Senator Jack Reed seeking, quote, a statement attesting to your personal knowledge about Mr. Hegseth's fitness to occupy the important position. Danielle Hegseth, Pete Hegseth's former sister-in-law, is asked to detail what she knew of instances of abuse or threats of abuse perpetrated against any other person and mistreatment of a spouse, former spouse, or other members of his family, among other requests. Interestingly enough, Samantha Hegseth, Pete Hegseth's ex-wife, responded in an email saying, first and foremost, I have not and will not comment on my marriage to Pete Hegseth. I do not have representatives speaking on my behalf, nor have I ever asked anyone to share or speak about the details of my marriage on my behalf, whether it be a reporter, a committee member, a transition team member, etc. I do not believe your information is accurate, and I have CC'd my lawyer. Asked what information was not accurate, she said there was no physical abuse in my marriage. This is the only further statement I will make to you. I have let you know that I am not speaking and will not speak on my marriage to Pete. Please respect this decision. It was an acrimonious divorce. Ms. Dietrich, according to Tim Parlatore, Texas lawyer, says Ms. Dietrich has had an axe to grind against the entire Hegseth family. Ms. Dietrich admits she saw nothing, but is now falsely accusing Sam of lying to both the court and to the FBI because of private, undocumented statements that she allegedly made 10 years before. Interesting. I have no idea. What is interesting is that the former sister-in-law of Pete Hegseth says, quote, I have chosen to come forward publicly at significant personal sacrifice because I'm deeply concerned by what Hegseth's confirmation would mean for our military and country, and because I have been assured that making the public statement will ensure that certain senators who are still on the fence will vote against Hegseth's confirmation, but for the assurance I would not subject myself or others referred to in the statement to the public scrutiny the statement is likely to cause. So someone told Pete Hegseth's former sister-in-law that if she came forward with a public statement, it would sabotage his nomination. Pete Hegseth's ex-wife, this woman's sister, has come forward and says, there was no physical abuse in our marriage and I will not talk to anyone, leave me alone. And also, no one is speaking on her behalf. No, she has asked no one to do anything. She wants nothing to do with this. She will say nothing to no one. Leave her alone. So someone convinced Pete Hegseth's ex-wife's sister to file an affidavit alleging some sort of abuse, claiming that if she did it, it sabotaged Pete Hegseth. Who made that claim? Who told the woman that it would sabotage Pete Hegseth? We need that answer. We need that answer. Also, you should note that Pete Hegseth's ex-wife denies the claims and says she wants nothing to do with it. Someone's trying to sabotage Pete Hegseth, use his ex-sister-in-law, and his ex-wife wants nothing to do with it. And someone told the sister-in-law if she did it, it would sabotage the nation. There are a lot more questions than answers here, and none of them are about Hegseth. They're about what dirty tricks the Democrats are playing. I got to tell you, as someone who paid attention to what they did to Brett Kavanaugh, I know you Democrats are convinced that any Republican nominee Donald Trump put forward is probably a woman beater and abuser and a misogynist and what have you. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to show me the videotaped evidence that Pete Hegseth was abusive. Listen, no, is he a good person? No, he made terrible mistakes in his life. He's on like his third marriage. But I'm real sorry. You people would find a way to attack Jesus Christ if Jesus Christ were the defense secretary nominee. Y'all would find a way to lie about Jesus. Y'all would accuse Jesus if Jesus were the nominee. Because I know Democrats who live what they did to Brett Kavanaugh. They savaged that man. They tried to ruin him. And then when he got on the Supreme Court, you had an assassin try to kill him, and the Democrats have dragged their feet on prosecuting the assassin. So, no, I'm sorry. You Democrats do this all the time. This is right out of your playbook. Next, you'll assume that you'll call him a Nazi. Wait, they've already gone after him for his tattoo. To be in some sort of white supremacy neo-Nazi tattoo. Forgive me, but the Democrats do this to everyone. I'm tapping out. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I've seen enough from the Democrats to know that they don't care. They're just trying to destroy him, man. So I'll move on from there because this is breaking news. The affidavit has just come forward, and the woman very clearly says that she's doing it because she was told that if she did it, it would stop Pete Hegseth's confirmation. Now, I got asked by a lot of people, what does it mean that Donald Trump is doing a terrorist designation for the drug cartels in Mexico? Quite a lot, actually. By designating the Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations, it makes it very easy for American authorities to seize any bank accounts they have in this country and to freeze funds related to them. Not only that, but it also allows the U.S. government to crack down on and impose penalties and criminal actions against those businesses that do business with the Mexican drug cartels. In this particular case, the Mexican drug cartels are led by families, and it makes the lives of those families very miserable. Donald Trump can impose sanctions on those families, seize assets and bank accounts from those families, have them arrested, or otherwise make their lives miserable when they travel. Designating the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations is a good thing, makes the cost of doing business for the drug cartels goes up significantly, and allows the U.S. government to impose sanctions on the drug cartels. It's a very good decision that Donald Trump made. Now, yes, I gotta play you this. This is Stephanie Ruhle again. I think maybe she was in navy blue instead of black, but almost all the women at MSNBC yesterday, they weren't having a normal one. They decided to go for funeral black for the most part. This is how Stephanie, I played you out Nicole Wallace Star Show. This is Stephanie Ruhle.
It is day one of the second Trump administration. Donald Trump has been president for a grand total of 11 hours, and he wasted no time imposing his will on American government. Tonight he announced he was pardoning or commuting the sentences of virtually everyone involved in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. That includes Stuart Rhodes, remember that name? The founder of the Oath Keepers, and Enrique Tarrio, the former leader of the Proud Boys. Both of these men were tried in federal court and convicted of seditious conspiracy.
Ooh, so scary. Look, I mean, as I said, I think some of these people did deserve a pardon, but none of you wanted to complain about Joe Biden's pardons. One of the other things Donald Trump has done, praise Jesus. In all seriousness, praise Jesus. He has suspended enforcement of the regulations about showers and faucets and toilets and dishwashers and washing machines. So my buddy Vince is a home builder in Atlanta. And one day, when I have the money, when my finances are in order, I've won the lottery, I have in my head a big house. Everybody, when their kids go to college, they downsize. I'm going to upsize. I want a big house. And Vince is going to build it for me. It's going to have a golf simulator. It's going to have an amazing man cave. You're going to go through like a Chronicles of Narnia wardrobe into the man cave, and you open it up, and there's this big golf simulator, lots of TVs, and a humidor, and a big bourbon collection, and the air is going to flow through it so my wife doesn't get mad that Philip and I are smoking inside, and it's going to open up onto a patio, and there's going to be heaters out there, so you can sit on the patio. It's going to be glorious, and this is going to build it for me. One of the things I want is a car wash for a shower. Y'all, I love a shower. I love a hot shower. And I stayed in a place one time, and it turned out to be the guest house for someone very famous. I didn't know. I was able to get it through Airbnb. As soon as after I did it, they took it off Airbnb, and I can't get it. But this guy had a shower, and it had like 12 shower heads, and they came up from the bottom. They came at you from the sides. They came from above you. There was a handheld. It had a seat. The seat was heated. It had a button you could press, and it turned into a steam room. It was glorious, and the floors were heated. Tile floors were heated. It was wonderful. It was up in the mountains up at Lake Burton. It was glorious. Oh, my gosh, and the water pressure was amazing. It wanted to take your skin off. The water pressure was so great. I loved it. I want a shower where I can just stand in it in my birthday suit, spread my arms out, and it just sprays me from every angle and cleans every inch of my body. It made me take some skin off. The water pressure so hard. I loved that. And it was forever hot water. You never had to run out of hot water. The Biden regime nearly would have deprived me of that, because they have continued to scale back the flow rate of showers. They claim we have to save water. No, they don't want you to make the choice. They want government to deny you choice. That's essentially what's going on here. They're trying to deny you choice. And Donald Trump has decided, no, you and I should have the choice. If we want a shower that pours out more water onto our bodies, we should be allowed to. God bless you, President. Donald Trump believes that perhaps in America, it should not take us 3 hours for the dishwasher to wash the dishes. I'm not talking about our wives. I'm talking about the actual appliance. Donald Trump believes that your toilet should be able to hold enough water to actually flush. And he believes that you shouldn't have to wait 90 minutes for your bathtub to fill out with hot water for you to be able to take a bath. He is a great American in this regard. He appreciates the desires of the American people. I got to tell you, one of the worst things ever now are these modern dishwashers. If you have an old dishwasher, you better hold on to that thing your entire life if you can. Because I've got a new bleeding edge, super quiet, super fast dishwasher, and it still takes like 2.5 hours to wash the dishes because of the stupid regulations from not just the Biden administration, but the Obama administration. And Trump rolled those regulations back. Biden reimposed them. And so Trump's rolling them back again. Or like the stupid auto start stop on cars these days. I got it on my car. You get to a stoplight, your foot's on the brake, and the engine turns off. You know the engine rollover, turning over, constantly coming on and on. My goodness gracious. Just does wear and tear on your car. And when Trump was in office, you get those switches taken out. You could have it turned off. Now you have to remember to push the button every time. I've got it in my car. Every time I get in the car, I got to remember to push the button. And by the way, Donald Trump's saying he's banning these things. He's saying you should have choice. Democrats love choice when it comes to whether or not you murder a child, but they don't want to have any other choice on planet Earth, particularly when it comes to the sort of shower head you have or vehicle you have. Donald Trump is giving people choice. Donald Trump believes in choice. Donald Trump is pro-choice, not when it comes to murdering your kid, but when it comes to actually giving you choice in how you live your life, the products you buy. God bless him for that. Between bank collapses and war teetering on the brink and regulators possibly now thinking of raising interest rates instead of lowering interest rates with interest rates as high as they are, Swiss America has been the trusted leader of precious metals for 40 years, and they've been warning people about a secret war on cash. If you're interested in safeguarding your hard-earned cash from this war, you should get their critical free report. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Swiss America can educate you on protecting your assets. The report is called The Secret War on Cash. I've read it. It's less than 15 minutes to read. They do a very good job of explaining to you how the government tracks your cash purchases, and by the way, how they're spreading into crypto purchases. They're trying to snoop on every aspect of your life and purchases, even when you try to use cash to anonymize your purchases. Get this free Secret War on Cash report from Swiss America by calling or texting 800-289-2646. The all-out war on cash includes digital forms of currency and growing. All you have to do is mention ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. When you call or text 800-289-2646, the report's completely free. Just mention ERIC. When you call or text 800-289-2646, message and data rates may apply.
Well connected and well respected. It's Eric Erickson live every weekday.
One in the Cool Rate Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center. Checking for some slowdowns in Gwinnett, I-85 northbound. We're hitting the brakes around Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Exit 99, 40 miles per hour should get you where you're going, but you're backed up all the way to 285. So just exercise some patience when you're traveling on 85 North. I'm Chin Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news.
is Will Win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Thank you, Jesus. The WSB 5K a day bonus plus.
5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 5.
The WSB 5K day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Hi, I'm David Nicholas, financial advisor and president of Nicholas Wealth Management. But most importantly, I'm a husband and a father. The three most important things in my life are faith, family, and freedom. Unfortunately, I think we're facing threats to all three. The yahoos in Washington want to erode our wealth by inflation, regulation, and out-of-control spending. Deficits, rob Social Security, and inflation have devalued our dollar and made raising a family nearly impossible. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. The federal government is 40% bigger today than it was before COVID. I think that means taxes are going higher. Don't let higher taxes devastate your retirement accounts. At Nicholas Wealth, we have CPAs and CFPs that can show you how to shelter your retirement accounts from higher taxes. Our Retire Ready tax analysis is a $1,000 value. We'll provide it completely complimentary for callers who have saved more than $250,000 for retirement, and give us a call in the next 10 minutes. The number to call is 404-890-5606. That's 404-890-5606, or you can go to nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth, an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or the financial situation and the needs of any person. This is a paid advertisement.
Christina Edwards here. If your home is like mine, it is built on our famous Georgia red clay, which absorbs moisture and is very slow to dry out. It can cause a drainage issue in your crawl space, potentially growing mold and producing that musty smell. But call my friends at American Crawl Space Solutions. They will walk you through the issue and only suggest repairs you need to solve the problem. Visit AmericanCrawlSpaceSolutions.com to schedule your free in-home consultation.
American Crawl Space Solutions. Foundations too.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey everyone, it's Ted, Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that number. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up in promo code SECOND free by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you'd be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
All the information without the spin. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Green's here. Let's go to Alex's phone call here at the end. Alex, welcome to the Eric Erickson Show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Eric. Thank you for taking my call. So listen, I just needed to change frequency a little bit on you. I know that we were talking about Pete Hegseth and so forth and so on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. And so I wanted to ask about this lady, Miss Granholm.
Yeah, she's the worst.
Well, okay, so I remember, I think it was like April, and one of my favorite senators, Josh Hawley, was creaming her, was beating her up, asking her about all the insider trading, and now, this last week, she sends almost $23 million to all of these energy companies of her choice.
Uh-huh.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So
how long does she get away with this, Eric?
Jennifer Granholm, Canadian, former governor of Michigan, very, very liberal. She's the one who told Americans that if they were like her, she was driving on sunshine with her electric car. We should all have one. On her way out the door, she made a bunch of grants to green energy companies, trying to get in good with them. I'm wondering if the money's going to be recalled by the Trump administration, or attempted to be recalled. She was given that power to the energy secretary to be able to advance the Green New Deal. And whether you or I like it, she had the power to do it. If the Trump administration can't come behind her and fix it, that money's going to get spent. A total con job. These people have no shame. They do not care. They are perfectly happy to do these things and advance their agenda. At least normalcy is back in Washington, D.C. You know, this is kind of the weird. You know, it was Tim Walz who called J.D. Vance and Donald Trump them weird. That dude is weird. It is the weird people of the Democratic Party who are just meltdowns. So I want you to listen to this. This is a Democrat. Well, I don't have time for it. This weird kid on Twitter basically says, if you're a Republican, I think you should be hunted down and killed for what you've done. If you interact with me on TikTok, I'm going to find you and kill you if you're a Republican for what you've done to the country. What do? They brought someone back to the White House who, for all of his faults, isn't insane with this woke nonsense. Restoring decency to the office, frankly, given what we just saw for 4 years of Joe Biden, whether you want to believe it or not. As much as I may disagree with him, at least I think Donald Trump is more often than not right on stuff. The left has just come unhinged. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, assuming I survive Snowmageddon here. See y'all then.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
You know, I have such a good story about my cancer diagnosis that I got roughly 17 years ago. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I was told I needed surgery immediately. It turned out that that was not what I needed at all. And I traveled across the country to consult with another medical facility. And I've been in what's known as active surveillance for nearly 17 years, never needing radiation, chemo, surgery, anything, and not having any health problems at all. Now, I'm one of the lucky ones. But the big thing with cancer, and it's going to unfortunately strike in so many families, maybe to us, is that it's important that you don't take just the first opinion you get, that you do seek additional opinions and be in control of your own health